Hey, what's going on, everyone? And welcome to Untitled with G. Yeah, how is everyone? I noticed the Spaghetti Western Man was the first here. Maybe Cody's not. I believe Cody did sub to this channel, but yeah, maybe he didn't turn on those notifications. As we say, could you please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video, or in this case, a live. Anyway, we have the amazing one person watching, so this is going to be definitely an interesting stream. But it's not all about numbers. And that other channel that we won't mention in case people report it, that channel doesn't get a whole lot of people. But anyway, let's go through the chat as always, which is over there. We have AJ. He's first, mofos. We have well done, AJ from Stylesy. No blue mod spanner. Don't worry, I did have that in mind. Hello, everyone. Better get back to work. Okay, take care there, Stylesy. Go and yeah, had to leave the door open because the dog was lounging, slounging, sleeping. He's here now. He's here just in time. It's a little bit late, but there he is. He's going to lie down on his bed. There he goes. And we do have a guest, a co-host there. Give me the signal when you're ready. I think she's doing stuff at the moment. Yeah, different phone, different account. Oh damn, it's all happening. Cracking that whip. We have also the official, not the not official or non-official. We have the official Gibbo here. How are you? We have Becky's fishing adventure. He's coming in with the reels and the tackle. Everyone likes a good tackle around here, right? Had to get a penis joke in there somehow, right? It's almost like I'm American. Sorry, Mrs. Austin. But let's get wildness. Yeah, it's not Monday Night Madness. It's not Up Late with G. This one's untitled, so who knows what's going to happen. Pretty much the same as always, probably. I will be going for a drive soon, but I'll keep live playing. Cheers, you're a legend, Becky. Good day, Becky. Good day, Gibbo, AJ. And yeah, I probably should have done that on that other channel, but I actually have my dinner here, which just was a quick and easy tenders and some French fries. It is what it is. And we got a bit of a Yorkshire tea. We have two people here now. Oh no, it's gone. But yeah, let's all welcome the co-hosts for the evening. We have well, made you a little bit small there. We have Mrs. Austin in the house, or in her house.
Right. I opened it from the screen, so it was like this big. So I had to close that one to open it in an actual street in the window.
Ah,
So I was like, wait, why is it doing that? And this light is super bright, so it is what it is. And I have no idea where my cell phone is, so I have no idea what people are writing. I cannot see any comments.
gremlin. Maybe I'll localize that like bright light. That's what Gizmo says in Gremlins.
Hi, AJ. I can see the comments now, but I can't see what was written before.
We or I, even though it doesn't show the old ones, I can chuck up the chat somehow.
And so we're on Untitled with G. I like that name. Yeah, there
Yes,
we
we
go.
are.
Oh no, I can see
We
the
have the
comments
chat.
now. I don't have to show the comments if you don't do. Although it was weird, like because I caught myself watching it from this channel, last one. So it was like you were talking and you were mentioning chat, and I'm like, oh crap, I can't see them. I'm not on the one. And then I went looking, and of course, those ones are private now. So I was like, okay, well, at least I have to watch it then.
All
for
of
this
the
channel?
chats have moved over. All the chats have moved over to this channel, so they're all now private on Funkin' Hungry or taken off. Mainly, I
Yeah,
did want to monetize the channel, but also, as I've mentioned before, these live streams have become. That's what I found funny because I was running out of time. I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
the time I don't stream on Funkin' Hungry, I have food. I actually have
yeah.
food. So yeah, it's funny how life works. So here I am with food, and then decided not to do it on Funkin' Hungry.
I know
Yeah,
that
the
if I,
lives will be on here, and I do have some ideas to do some lives on Funkin' Hungry,
yeah, I think it'd be
where it's
fun
a
to
little bit
do.
more food drink related.
That's what I'm saying. I think it'd be cool to like maybe, because it's the outdoor time for you guys. So maybe like an outdoor barbecue type thing, like just watching meat sizzle for 30 minutes. That might sound fun. I don't know.
Yeah,
Back this, I can all I always like to. I don't know. It's my imaginative mind. I like to imagine what my response would be while there. So I like a little ambiance sound, noise, like how,
yeah.
take in the environment and then, that conversation. I like that idea. But at the same time, I think maybe like an open barbecue pit, like, and then hey guys, like a teaser. Hey, I'm gonna do my food review. This is my food review, and like showing it cooking or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm I'm I love those
I
cook
love
shows
like
where they go in the back and they like show them break it down. Like obviously they don't tell them everything, but like they break it down and they have that conversation. Like, why this meal? Why do you want to share it with us? Like why is it important? Because I feel like those mom and pop places, they have that heartwarming. Holy crap! They just want to feed people. Not just record.
definitely, yeah, like obviously they're there to work, but a lot of them really enjoy customers being happy. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, hopefully I might do content like that on Funkin' Hungry, a little bit more in-depth stuff like that. I don't know if I do it live or just edit that. But when it comes to
But
live videos, I might, even after I do a food review, maybe even go live after I do a food review. Like you say, if I'm out and
yeah,
about,
Q&A.
do
Yeah.
a food review, go live after and just have a chat about it, or do food reviews live and stuff like
I
that.
don't know. I don't like the idea of doing the food review live like you. Not necessarily that
Mm,
I'm worried about what my action would be because I want it to be honest. I want it to be, fulfilling. But I need time sometimes to, gather my thoughts on what's the textures, what's the flavors, and not
mm,
just make it the same old thing. Not, oh yay, a burger. Um, type attitude. But like I said, you do well with the interviews. You do well with community. I think it'd be cool to just sit and listen to you chat with some of the local eatery places. You know,
mm.
even one where you're like, this is damn good. Like I didn't want it to be like those places like everybody loves them and you're like I can't do it. I'm not gonna do it. And then you go and then you're like, damn it, that was totally worth it. But again, I think you would do better with the one-on-one interview type thing and the sit down and not I don't know. I think fast food's pretty over. Unless you do some crazy type,
Mm,
$100, what is it called, a munduk, where you sit and you're just, you know,
yeah,
gorge.
or a McRib, McRib with like four patties or something like that.
Well, no, that's what I was saying that's what I was messaging you was like a McChicken whatever something from another place, something from another place, something from another place, and then putting it together. Like
Mm,
that's the only thing I could think of would be, because I don't know. I don't know. Again, having different mixed reviews on what I'm hearing is different, but it's like going and talking to four different car salesmen at the same car shop.
mm,
You can only go to that car shop, I'm only going there every once in a while. You know, having a I mean crap, if you could do a look, I found my sister was just telling me this. Yes, again, we live in the United States and she lives in San Francisco. So hers is completely different setup and um marketing, marketing stuff's different. But like on the app, like you guys, I hear you guys talk about it every time. Oh, if you order on the app, you can get this deal for this and this and this. Well, where my
yeah,
sisters at, they do some now. They're doing some now during the holidays, where they know a lot of people are like, no, we're not going to spend money on food to go out. Like we're going to spend it on the holidays. Right now they're doing like a
Yeah.
$12.99 for 6 burgers and 6 French fries at Burger King.
Wow, that's how good. Yeah,
And I'm going,
that's probably
holy shit,
about 20, maybe even 35 here for something like equivalent to that.
oh no. Oh no, if it were to be the same price ratio, it'd still be outrageous to me. There's be like, hell no, why would I
Mm.
buy 6 burgers for $20? But I'm going, that's a good price for you guys, 6 burgers for $20, you know. For us, you know, a dollar McDouble or a dollar, you know, Carl's Jr. is what we have. It's like a McDonald's and Burger King offshoot, pretty much like the same type thing. Hardee's. That's Carl's Jr. is a Hardee's with the star and everything.
Yeah.
Um, there's
Normally here, sometimes you get like, I think $4 Big Macs on the app, $2 cheeseburgers, sometimes like a
oh goodness,
$5 small cheeseburger meal.
yeah, we're still paying $1.19 for that same burger that you're saying $2 for. So yeah,
Yeah.
same again with the price ratio and the influctuation up and down. You know, little here,
Mm.
pennies there. You know, throughout the week. It's about the same ratio. We're not. That's why I sent you those photos in the chat, was because I wanted you to see like these are our prices. And when you say $10, I'm like, yeah, almost $7 here. Yeah, that's about
They
the same.
they didn't seem too bad, but I'm sure how much are like biscuits and stuff or cookies and stuff like your like
Oh,
brands from where you are.
that whole row I had to go just to find those. The reason I was in that row because 4 rows down is the gluten-free section. That's like this big, little tiny
Yeah,
itty
right.
bit there. Um, um, those cookies range anywhere from above $4 for, you know, four to 6 of them to
Mm.
$12 for like a 20 pack. Yeah, those are
I
the
mean,
well, they put Tim Tams with Milano. Like that's how in that store it was set up. Mind you, there was only 2 flavors of Tim Tams, but I'm like, I swear I've seen these before, and yeah, so I found them in the store. But I
well,
love the
Tim
biscuit.
Tams are expensive here. But they're made in Australia and they're still expensive here, really,
Well,
compared
like
to some stuff.
what did it say? 5.39, I think 5.69 in that thing, or 5.89. It was almost $6. And mind you, here food we don't pay tax on. But if I
Mm.
were to buy it at a specialty store where they charge taxes anyway, it'd be
Yeah,
closer to $8-9, because you're talking,
yeah.
well, no, closer to $8, $7. Sorry, closer to $7. So, but you know, we pay extra taxes on other things. Like we pay taxes on our taxes. So
And
you know,
to answer AJ, I've just got a couple of these tenders, but they're kind of like a little bit more processed, and just some chippy chips. So, yeah, I did get some chicken out, but it was taking a while to defrost, so I just did some easy, quick frozen stuff.
yeah, yeah. We're gonna do frozen fish tomorrow. You know, fish patties, you know, little fillets.
Yeah,
Ryan wants to do some of those, and I bought breadings, and I don't even think he knew I bought them, but he was like, I want. He on the way home, like 20 minutes before I got home, he was like, I really hope we have brown gravy. And I'm like, we
yeah.
do. I bought some, and he goes, no, I really do hope so. I hope we do have it. I hope we don't need to go to the store to get it. And I'm like, no, I bought packs. Like we didn't have mashed potatoes and gravy the other day. And he
You're
said,
not going to be able to really see it on this camera, but it's funny how they call these tenders, but it's clearly like just mushed up
yeah,
chicken.
yeah.
How
Well,
can you really
that's
call it
what
tenders?
chicken nuggets are.
Because ten,
Chicken nuggets are the
but-
same.
well, tenders is a part of the bird. Like, it's,
Well,
you know, like
tenders is supposed to be
it's
the
meant to.
leftover from the bone anyway. So you know,
Well,
you're
it's meant to
talking
be
that
around the sort of breast area of the bird, and it's meant to be
the
more
stretchy.
tender, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, this is clearly just mushed up chicken carcass. Tastes all
Well,
right, but yeah, they add obviously spices and stuff into it to mask the dirtiness.
we get home and he says, he's like, I really want loco moco, which is that Hawaiian dish that I showed you guys. Real simple, easy rice,
Mm.
gravy, hamburger patty, fried eggs. Well, that's
Yeah,
how we
that's
have. I don't do the mac and cheese, the no mac salad. Like the mac salad is, which I've always thought was hilariously funny because I was raised by Oklahomans, so very Caucasian culture. They're very everything's baked in, or fried in lard. Everything has butter on it. Very heavy gluten, flour,
Mm,
anything. I'm definitely fried.
yeah.
Definitely sweet. Definitely fried. Um, but when we had macaroni salad, it was just like the macaroni salad I grew up with didn't have as much vegetables in it as like Hawaiian macaroni salad has it. So, and of course they make theirs with a homemade mayonnaise, which is not craft store bought what I grew up on, which is eggs and oil more just you know fried processed something. Um, so it's funny to make it all homemade now and then eat it now. I still don't put the celery in it. I still don't put the what are they, sweet peas. Still don't. That's how Hawaiians eat mac salad. I'm like, ugh, can't do that. I'm not used to. Um, if I want to eat vegetables like that, I will eat me a pot pie. I have no problem eating. Um, what's the other one that I love? My kid asked me the other day if they've eaten lamb. They're like, "Have I ever had lamb?" Pretty sure no. Pretty sure that
Is
you.
that not that? I guess it's not that big over there.
Well, it is just. I mean, if it was legal to
Oh,
shoot it and kill it ourselves, yes, they would have had it by now. If that makes any sense, like it's not necessarily that it's not easy to get. It's just not like
super expensive, is it?
I've had goat, I've had lamb, I've had all of that stuff. I had it growing up as a kid, and I had it when I got older. Like I had Greek friends who are very much into eating goat. So, um, I just feel like I need to be eaten piping hot. Like you need to be burning your face off to eat it, because if you don't, the fat lays very heavy in your
Oh yeah,
mouth.
that has. I kind of like that in a way, but yeah, it depends how you cook it. But it leaves like that film of like
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah,
layer.
yeah,
It's like lip balm, but in your mouth.
yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
yeah.
And I can see all the the properties and the good things that come from
Mm.
repurposing everything that comes from it. But
Normally, if you
that's
like
so.
barbecue it or something like that, it doesn't quite have the same. But yeah,
Oh
if you
no,
use it
like
in
a traditional Greek,
stews,
the traditional
yeah,
Greek
yeah.
dinner that
Mm.
they made, and so
Mm.
it was very much like lamb shanks. So
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
we were 2 hours late, so it was our fault, and I got to eat it that way because we were late. And I'm like, it wasn't my fault. We were late. I'm so mad at this person. I did not want to eat this cold. I know what it tastes like cold. I did not want to, but it was good.
Yeah, and,
You can't get over that. I mean, when you walk in a room and all you can smell is like spice kicking you in the nose, it's it's great. I think that's the fun part about food and cultures is the language barriers. When it comes to breaking bread and sharing food and having those. I mean, you're literally eating something more than likely people made it in their childhood when you're eating at their table.
yeah.
Do a homemade
Yeah,
meal.
a lot of those dishes, people yeah, they learn it from a kid. It's passed down. They've seen their grandparents or parents, and that's why I love that a lot of those traveling shows that incorporate food and cooking and stuff into it, because you learn about the culture. And like you were saying, the best way to bring people together is food. Is sometimes if they're a lot of those shows, they go to countries where they can't. They need to like an interpreter to
Even
sort of
then, they
pass
interpret
on what's being
the language.
said. Yeah, and yeah, sometimes there's lost a lot of lost in translation, and jokes don't work in different areas of different countries, and
I love it
but
when
yeah,
they try to
then
speak the
when the
native
food comes
language.
out,
When they
yeah,
try to speak the native language and the person they're speaking to doesn't even speak the native language, so they're like,
yeah, even
never
some of
mind.
the because a lot of the interpreters obviously they know the language, but yeah, there
Yeah,
could be little differences in depending on the tribe or
yeah,
depending on the village
different
or
region. Yeah,
little bit of different dialect in there, and yeah, it's just. But as soon as the food comes out and they all start digging in, everyone's just loving life and just smiling, joking, and just yeah, it's
having a
great.
go. Oh, that was the other thing. Throwing all of those medleys together. You also have to take those medleys have to have like the sauces. Like the sauces have to
Yeah,
be dripping off them. So like my thought was like baconator with a guac, put the baconator and the guac together, but like one has to be meat and one has to be chicken. So it's like opposite. Like so you got beef, chicken, pork, all of it.
Mm.
Maybe even throw a fried egg on there, extra chicken. Throw something else.
I do love like an egg on a burger.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, try the Dunkin' Donuts, like the Krispy Kreme, where you cut the donut in half and then you fry it and then you make it the bun. Oh, I
I
can't eat
did do that once.
try. I do
Made
all the food
I
ideas ever.
don't know if I put. I think I might have just put bacon with it. I don't know if I made a burger now, but yeah, it's definitely like once a year. That's definitely like a once a year type, snack. It's just it doesn't taste bad, but it's just you know with the amount of sugar and grease on that is like
Not just sugar, not just the sugar and the grease. Like you're probably going to be picking things out of your teeth an hour later, going, "Wait, I don't remember that. Wait, that was in there too." That kind of, oh, I forgot they had that on that burger and I put it all together, kind of situation.
like I
Like
did
a
do
fried
a some of
like
those
like
crazy
this.
creations I've done. I called it the cow and chicken burger. And did you ever saw Cartoon Network, that cow and chicken show? I
Uh-huh.
kind of used that as inspiration a little bit, and it was basically a chicken burger with a like a quarter pounder or whatever, and just I kind of mixed it up, took some buns out. But how you said you should mix like different brands, I wonder what like a double quarter pounder with some KFC like fillets in it would
Yeah,
be
that's what I
like.
mean. Like put all that together, like just or do like
Yeah,
a famous bowl. Do you guys have the famous bowls? Like have the famous bowl and then do like something with like syrup. Like you know what I
mm,
mean? Like chicken and waffle, but with the mashed potatoes. Like add like how they do that on Jeopardy or not on Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, where they're like mismatch, where they add a word and another word and the middle word makes them combine.
yeah.
That something
See,
something that's off the wall, like sounds like it would be gross, but separate, they're amazing. Like put it together and you're like, this is probably gonna be gross, but like see what it tastes like. Because I swear that's how half of those burgers get made. Is someone's just like, oh, by the way, you guys don't the whole like how far do you have to go to get to an In and Out thing? That's like a huge joke in the United States. How
yeah.
far are you willing to drive? Like it's that whole Klondike bar times 10. Like people drive states to go to In and
Like
Out.
Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. Have you
Okay, but
seen
it's
that?
worse than that because like they go to White Castle for like 50 burgers. No, like In and Out is like how many burgers can you get them to stack on your animal burger before they say no more?
Yeah, until you
Like
get thrown out.
12, 14, 16. Like how many burgers can I get them to put on there? Because it's like $1 something extra burger and a whole extra hamburger is like $5. Why would you pay for the lettuce and the tomatoes and the bread when you could just stack those burgers up cheaper, than the one? So
I have
I
had turducken, but I've never really had it like, just the frozen versions. I'm sure if someone was to make it from scratch, it would be much better. But it is hard to get the cook right because each meat has different temperatures to get it to like duck. You normally have a slightly medium sort of rare. You want it a little bit pink, and then obviously chicken, you don't want it pink, and then turkey is a little bit like chicken as well. But yeah, I'm sure it'd be hard to master, but I've just had sort of some frozen ones, which is okay, but it's nothing special. But as I say, if someone did it from scratch and knew how to do it, I'm sure it'd be delicious.
the ones we had were skinned, deboned and
Yeah,
all, were stacked,
yeah.
and
That's what I've had. Yeah.
there was like other things stacked in between them that would help like insulate and cook. Like duck fat would push the chicken away, and like the chicken would get to temp on one side but not on the inside. So like they did like two or three of
Yeah.
them, and one of them they made into a roll. Um, tied it up somewhere with like paste in between.
Mm.
Similar to a very Italian style, like hanging dried salami, and they deep fried it, and the turkey came out like pork belly, like chicharrones. The skin and the meat came off very dry, almost like jerky, but the
Yeah,
chicken
right.
on the inside were amazing. So like the turkey came out real. Like you could probably just add some sauce to it and make it into like a salad sandwich, turkey salad sandwich.
Yeah.
It made it better. But the crunch of it, oh, it was just like it was. I don't know why, but I don't know. They do.
Sometimes the skin when it gets crunchy on chicken and obviously pork as well. But yeah, turkey is
It's
really good. Is it?
the green and red Christmas colors activated tonight. That's funny. That's so funny. Because I was wearing green pants earlier, and a black and white and red T-shirt, and I was like, I wore the wrong shoes to work because that's how busy we were when we got home from
Yeah.
being out. I just didn't have any time to just sit and relax. So like I didn't even think, oh, I need to change my shoes for work. While Ryan was gone, I was looking down because I took my shoes off and I was like, here, take your shoes. And I looked down and I look at my pants and I'm like, I hope he brings my red shoes because then I'll be red and green like Christmas. So that's really funny that AJ just said that. Creepy.
Yeah, I tried to change up. Obviously, I've streamed on here before, but mainly I was streaming as Funk and Hungry,
Oh
so I
yeah, yeah, yeah.
decorated it.
This one's like the
So I've
second.
changed it all. Yeah, I just kind of gone with this red, purple, bluish colours. I'm not wearing any pants.
Well, good thing I am. Bright yellow. Bright yellow. I'm wearing my Fuck Your Farm sweats. So shout out to Fuck Your Farms if you're on Instagram. It's a he's like an entrepreneur. He's pretty cool. He does quite a few things. But my favorite thing he does is clothes and stickers.
I showed it to everyone, but also
I'm a
Mrs.
sticker
Austin
head.
a little relic from back in the day. Oh
Oh no.
damn, it's got some cobwebs on it. Oh, and inside there's probably some little creepy crawlies living in there.
Oh, you're gonna make me tick. Big ass fucking spider I found on right now. Oh, we were just talking about it. I was like, babe, you know that if we go to Adelaide with my sister and Josh, like I promised them that we would, we're totally going to see G, right? You realize this, that we're gonna go see him. Like, we're gonna go hang out with G and Saul.
Yeah, he hasn't. The angry bull pirates hasn't been used for a while. That's for sure.
That's so funny. As I'm holding
And he's
mine.
obviously it's dirty because just when you're quitting or whatever, the last thing you want to do is like try and clean
Oh
clean it.
no! See, now that's
It's just
funny.
more
When I wanted to quit smoking
tempting.
cigarettes, I started picking up cigarette butts. That's what made me quit. So that's funny that you say that when you quit, you don't want to clean it. If I would have cleaned that, I would have vomited. I probably wouldn't have smoked for a very long time after, just because how much I threw up. Just because I've thrown away pieces that we found, like when I was helping Ryan clean this place out. There was a lot of paraphernalia and stuff left over from the person that lived here before, and it was broken, and like it had been sitting in something, and it was just so rancid smelling. It was so gross, and yeah, I can imagine what that might smell
Even
like.
this even this little guy, it seems is probably relatively new. Like I
Yeah,
probably didn't buy it that long before I stopped because it's
right.
and
Oh
I
yeah.
probably did scrape
You know,
the hell out of it before I stopped.
hold on. I don't know where his is. I don't know
But
where his. Oh,
yeah, maybe
it's behind the car. His is
maybe I
green
might
tech.
find some and partake in it over Christmas, possibly. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, what's going on, Pete? Are you gonna cry because I joined AJ? Oh, you don't need to. You don't need to come here and cause issues. If you and the lurkers want to come in and do what you do, AJ is a mod, so he can put you in timeout if he feels the need. As I said, don't want any issues, but yeah, I've made. Yeah, how you going, Pete? Don't want any issues, so that's the people that I've made mods can do what they want. But yeah, everyone's welcome in my eyes.
Speaking of dickheads, my small intestines. I ate curly fries the other day and I got drunk.
No, we don't say dickhead around here. We say bell end, bell end.
I uh, I got drunk on curly fries. They had that whole may contain wheat. I was like, I eat them anyway though, and they give me a bellyache and totally passed out early. Like seriously, like passed out at like 7 o'clock at night and slept until noon the next day. I was like, oh, that's not good.
That's like me with raw onions. They always give me a bit of sort of indigestion, sort of a little bit of ban me. I don't care. Well, why would you come on here to get banned? That seems like you're just trying to be a bit dramatic for no reason, man. We've never had issues, myself and you, Pete, but obviously, Grandma Tazdaz and Doofus has sent you to do what you need to do. Anyway, let's just ignore him for a while and let him just blow off a little bit of steam by himself because, yeah, I've never had issues with him. But why would you? It's like, oh, it's like going into a cop's shop and then saying, "Oh, you're a fuckhead" to the cop, and then the cop's like, "What? What's your problem? Oh, arrest me if you want. Arrest me. What?" It's like, what did I do? What did you do? Oh, arrest me.
This stupid. Okay, so I watch the Snapchat stories and I follow all those like Karen things, you know, like Karen sightings and catching Karens in public and like just this lady is like screaming. She's obviously having a mental health issue like at the moment, or she's just really not happy with the whole situation that's going on. But she's just screaming and yelling, and then out of the middle of nowhere, she like starts yelling at the security guard, and it's not the whole situation that's happening because obviously it would freak me out. Like I'm not cool like that kind of conversation or that kind of like name calling or just outbursts like that is just
Mm,
not my character. I don't like being pushed to that limit. I think that people who push other people to that limit are they they need some guidance, and I don't have the patience for that guidance. So I just kind
yeah,
of walk away from situations. That's just it's awkward, and plus I feel awkward staring and watching. Like I think that like that whole like when you're driving and you see a car accident, you slow down to rubberneck and like look at the accident. Like okay, I'm acknowledging that I'm safe and it's safe and I'm gonna keep going forward. Why would I get off the freeway and come back around and drive by again? Like that's
yeah. It's like
carnage.
it's like when you watch people going off or something weird. It almost feels like you're watching TV because obviously you're
Yeah,
not
like I'm
involved
looking
in the
around like I'm looking at
situation.
the camera, right? Like there's a camera on my face waiting for my reaction right now. Like, it has to be. There has to be someone lurking to try and capture this moment so they can put it out of context way over here and so other people can laugh at it because that's entertainment to human beings and it's weird to me. But I watch these videos not for what I'm watching it for, but the reaction of the people said involved in these situations that are literally have that moment where like this is my fucking job. Literally, I'm just doing my job. Please
Yeah.
let me just do my job. Those are the people I watch those for. Those are the people
Well,
I'm
you can
rooting for.
imagine it.
Please let them do
Imagine
their
it
job.
these
Please.
days. Like someone probably gets in an accident, and the paramedics are like trying to, make sure they're all right. They're probably
No, they're
filming
on
it for their
the
Instagram,
chat.
TikTok. It's like, dude, I'm trying to help you. Oh, hang on, I need to
Hold
put
on,
this shit
hold
on
on.
TikTok.
I gotta
I've
encapsulate
got to
this
make a
moment
video.
in which I helped you. Oh, but again, I'm not.
And
I'm not. I
to
get embarrassed when people.
to touch on what Pete was saying quickly, yeah, no problem. If you guys can just try not to have a fight here, I'd appreciate it. And yeah, I like both of you. I don't have issues with either of you, but yeah, let's just try and be happy and merry and Pippin. Yeah, no problem at all.
Again, no, I don't. I don't know. I come on to say hi and say hi to your loyal, you know, chat room
Well, yeah, because I'm not
I,
streaming on Funkin' Hungry majority of the time. That's where the bulk of people come from, and obviously I've got quite a few followers, so people probably jump in and out all the time. But
Yeah, I'm
That's
not
the
opposed.
whole idea of doing it here. Like, doing it here, seeing what happens. I need to build up this channel. The only way I'm going to do that is doing content.
Mhm.
Yeah, no worries, Pete. I appreciate it, man.
I
But
just feel like
yeah, it's
I feel like I feel like the best. I mean, and it's totally different cultures. Like I'm over here in America, mind you, I'm not. I do not ever will I ever. That's my hand up. I'm solemnly swear with my right hand. I am never, nor will I ever admit to being status quo of an American. Please don't put me in that box. If you do, you were warned. Um, that said,
I made a joke about it earlier. I'm like, oh, sorry, Mrs.
no,
Austin.
that's why I was giggling. I was like, why would you say that? Why would he say, "Oh, Austin"?
I,
I
I,
am not. I am
I just
not.
say, I just say sorry, like just to be even more of a twat, basically.
Oh yeah. No, no. Like to me, I am the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to Americans and or their thoughts. I don't have. I have
Yeah,
opinions. I'm a human being. I have opinions, but
yeah,
I
exactly.
my opinions don't matter, so I don't need to share them. like, I know when to quit before it even started, so I don't. My opinions are my opinions. The people who know me can probably guess my opinion as soon as they're gonna be like, Miss Austin has would say this about that, and probably 80% of the time it's spot on. It doesn't, and it's not necessarily that it doesn't affect me. It's like I'm giving a whole lot of energy to a theory, to a one-sided fact, to a opinion, to a. I'm trying to think of other things that I would react to. Um, you know,
When you said that, it would be very controversial to say that's like people uh, worshipping God.
okay, we had
A
a whole
theory.
conversation about that, and again, that's my opinion, and I will keep it to myself because it's a scientific,
Hey,
logical one. Not
this is
it's not
this
based
is
in anything other than.
this is Untitled with G. It's untitled for a reason.
Oh no, I
We can,
understand. I understand.
but
I
yeah,
have
we.
a. Well, I'm
I
Hawaiian,
definitely
so
don't want to
I'm
offend it.
well.
I don't want to offend anyone, and I'm the type of person that I'm up for a debate, or also just up for people to explain their theories or how they
See, well,
look at
that's
the
me.
world, the
I come
universe, and
I
I
come
love
with more.
talking about it, but also I don't like labels, and I guess that's exactly why I ended up choosing Untitled. Because some artists when they they have an album but it's untitled, like they don't have and it's just yeah, I kind of like that idea. It's like, and that's why I ended up breaking my name down, even though it's the Hyper Sapien. These days, I kind of just liked that because it was a word that is quite unusual to most people. But yeah, I broke it down to G because I was just going through. I hate labels as well. So yeah, it's like, and especially these days, there's just so many labels for everything. Which I understand you need a label so you can like say what something is. But we lived for so long without all these attachments. Like you're this, that, and the
And
other.
I'm all about context. You can give me,
Hmm.
you can tell me, I believe this, and I'll go, why? And people are like, because I said, and I'll go, okay, and I'll walk away, and they'll be like, but you just sat there and had a 45-minute conversation with a complete stranger because they answered the why question. Like they answered when you asked me why they answered it, and you sat there and talked to them, and like sound like you got a little heated for a second, but like you walked away and everything was fine. Like, what was that about? And I was like, they gave me their opinion. They gave me context, like that why they think that is okay or not okay.
Hmm.
And they're like, but you obviously didn't agree. And I was like, and they still
When it
should have a nice day. The fuck?
when it comes to pronouns and a lot of this sexual stuff like pansexual, is it sapiosexual or whatever, or just I don't know. It's too. It makes me feel like I'm that old grandpa, like on the rocking chair by the fire, like yeah, back in my day. It's just I don't. I don't
I
necessarily get
think
offended by it, or just I don't hate
well,
it, but I just don't
I've
really
had this
understand
conversation.
it. Like,
I've had this conversation with my
hmm,
teenagers, and I've tried to explain to them that they're taking
mm,
scientific and biological terms and putting them together, and they don't understand them. Not everyone understands
yeah,
them. You're not a biochemist. You're not going to understand the biology of the human body chemistry
Mm.
wise. You might understand the biological body psychologically, but again, that's a whole other avenue. It's like saying I can take it back to like you're saying in old time, in the old old days and the old west type attitude is that
Yeah.
at one I didn't deserve to speak in a room of men.
Yeah, no,
So
I
like
definitely don't
that,
agree with that bullshit.
yeah, you know what I
So
mean, like
when I
that.
say when I
I'm
say
not saying
like I've
it's
have
wrong.
old, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not saying that's wrong though. Like I can't sit here and scream I'm a feminist because I do believe that there are men conversations that need to be had with men, but there are
yeah,
also conversations where a
exactly.
woman's intuition or a woman's understanding will help the
A
men
woman's
understand
input,
the
yeah,
situation. You see what
because
I mean?
sometimes,
You don't
especially
always
going back
need
again to
all men.
the old, going back to the old Western style, how men would sort it is pull out the pull out a gun. At least
Yeah,
like a
but
woman would say,
you
okay,
have to
maybe
understand that in the old west, being gay was acceptable.
who the hell's Robbo? Robbo Five Life. I don't know him and what's his name Roger at martial arts. We'll probably see
Yeah, for
Roger.
their last one tonight or for the year. I'm
Well,
excited for them. Nice little break.
yeah, that's what I said to him. Hopefully, he has a nice little break, but also I could. He probably, like when it comes to stuff like that, he'll miss it but he will enjoy the break, but he'll
Yeah.
miss it.
Yeah.
Like
I
I'm
know that
sure.
more than half of them are like, yay, I get a break. I can spend time with my family. But the other half will be like, I have nothing to do for 3 weeks. Yeah. I know what
Yeah,
you mean.
I'm sure it'll be like just a lovely session for them all.
I think,
As we've said a
I
few
think,
times, I think
oh,
Robbo and Roger need to do some live streams and just show us. I guess there's a little bit of privacy issues and stuff like that when
yeah.
it comes to kids,
Well, I
but it
mean,
would just be really
they could do like
even just
reviews
even
of
them
like
two
the guy that
sparring,
did.
like even them two showing us like them teaching but doing it to the camera
Yeah,
instead of
or giving me a
the
history lesson. Give me a
hmm,
history lesson. Give me a small understanding and a small history lesson on the type of martial arts you were in that you're working under. You know,
yeah
like a little background history of your sensei, because that to me
mm,
is interesting to me because I know not all senseis who find their space in that martial art started there. You know, they become masters in other things, and they
yeah
want to take over, or they have one arm. I don't know. There's many reasons why some people do certain martial arts and only certain martial arts, but
and
I
that yeah
I
Pete
like that.
Pete that's what we're saying. Myself and Mrs. Austin has said for a while that Roger and Robbo should live stream because Roger wants to do more content. We said, well, maybe do stuff with your martial arts because he's very passionate about that as well as his food and stuff and his drinking. So yeah, that'd be amazing. I've always been interested in martial arts, always wanted to do it, but just I don't know, just life happens, and just sometimes you don't know. Because I got into hip hop and writing lyrics and drawing and just whatever else, and I guess women and drinking and smoking, and then it's like, oh, martial arts, I want to get into that, and then you know, years go by, and it's like, but yeah, I used to love going into those, like the cheapest chips, the dollar type stores, and get those really cheap martial arts kung fu movies that are not in
Yeah,
English, and you have to put subtitles
yeah.
on to know what the hell they're talking about. But I just loved it. AD now. What do you mean there, Pete?
I'm
I
guessing he
just
means
don't
feel.
know. Hey.
Now I know how you guys feel over my
Bad. Oh, I feel
iPad.
bad now. Um, Stuff happens, Pete. AJ knows that I care about him, and he knows I wasn't having a go at him. Yeah, you know, we don't know what people are going through in life. Some people might be struggling and a little bit annoyed. So, just sometimes don't take everything too serious. If someone has a go at you, could be for many reasons.
That's what I meant by the
Like
cultural.
it's like I said last stream. We were talking about we were talking about Christmas. Was it? I can't even remember what stream it was. I don't know. I'm on so many streams this day. Who is it? But basically, we was talking about Christmas. Yeah, but it's like look out for the people that are in retail and stuff because this time of year is hectic, and most of the time people are angry and they're taking their anger out on people that are just working in retail. You know, it's not their fault that they're out of stock or this item's this. And this is just more of an example. Like, just be nice to people because you don't know what they're going through. So if someone in retail, it's like just try to make their day. They could be really struggling. It's more busy, so they don't get breaks. You know, like when it's just normal hours and no holidays and stuff, they might have a little bit of a break in between people, but no doubt they'll be trolley full of items and people, and they're just having to do their job quicker and all the rest of it. Just yeah, try and show love to each other, but you don't know what people are going through, so don't always take. You know, if someone has a
So
go at you,
our
don't always
psychic.
take. Just don't always get angry because it's probably not you, it's probably something else. Or you may have just said a word, or you might have triggered them in a way. You know, we all have our triggers, we all have our differences. Hates
While we
me
were
for
at
being.
Walmart,
Uh,
um,
I don't think anyone hates you for that, Pete. I'm not involved in
sorry,
your
if
beef.
you're not liked because of your friends, you need better friends. And I'm not saying better
Yeah,
them, better us. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying whoever doesn't like you because you like someone else, that
yeah.
riddance.
No, I don't think yeah. The only part is we were trying not to go there is all Pete. I'm on a call at the moment. Pete doesn't have any rule over me. No worries here. Yeah, as I've said, just 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 chill out or whatever because yeah, we weren't trying to go there tonight, and I just don't really have the time, patience, or energy, or just can't be bothered with all that silly nonsense. So yeah, but
And
we've
I don't
gone
like
for like
watching
40.
places where I make weird, shitty, awkward faces because all of a sudden the conversation got awkward. That's just,
Mm.
I don't like watching
Yeah, if they
myself.
keep if they keep on doing it, we'll just have to we'll have to practice our shocked faces like oh gasp and oh no eyes
No,
open.
I don't need to practice that. I live a telenovela in my head constantly.
Yeah, that's it.
That's half the world, half the world. Because I'm not half the time I'm not paying attention. I really am zoned in, minding my own damn business as the adult that
Mm.
I am. And then, like I was saying, we went to Walmart today and we were food shopping and work shopping. And apparently, while we were there, my husband on one side of the building and me and my kids on the other side of the building, a group of people came in through the middle of the building and decided to rob the electronics department of the building we were in. Had no idea
So
what
you
was
said,
happening.
see, when you said that, just to stop you for a second, I realised I looked at myself and I made a shocked face without.
Yeah,
It was
four
wasn't. I
people
didn't do
apparently
that on purpose.
walked
It just
in,
happened.
bashed in a bunch of electronic cases, and ran out with a bunch of things like TVs and phones and
Yeah, as
electronics.
they say, the most wonderful time of the year. That's what they're
That's so
referring
dumb.
to.
Do you know that you can't? That if an Apple Watch is reported stolen, like it pops up when you run out. Those little scanner things scan the things that you steal, and if you try to activate those, they send notifications to the cops. Like you're
Yeah,
dumb.
but there's so much technology these days where it comes, where they can trace that stuff.
Mhm.
It's not like the old days.
Oh, I know. That's why my iPad is acting up because I have extra protections on my iPad and I did the update and it's wanting to get into the crevices and it can't get into those crevices because I won't let it and it's going. The usage is getting used up while I'm using it. So half the time I'm
But
typing, it will
imagine,
register my fingerprints.
but imagine that you buy, or you go and steal a watch and you give it to, your mum, your girlfriend, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, you got this with me? How lovely!" Next, next knock on the door, the old bill's at the door. You're nicked, and you're nicked.
It makes
Technology's
no. I
gay.
mean, I'm grateful for it because we couldn't be doing this if we didn't have stuff like this. But at the same time,
Yeah,
I don't know. I could be on the
I
radio.
think it's just
I
because
could be on TV
we
talking to
I think
truckers.
we've just seen this technology evolved, so we kind of know what it was like without it. But then, like you said, we wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be speaking to each other, and the chat wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't be having this moment. So, and I do get annoyed with technology when sometimes it just doesn't do what you want it to do. But that's technology for you. It's
I watched.
some people study it and learn it and know how to fix stuff, but some people don't have time for that.
I'm sure you've heard of the Jolly Good Ginger everyone has. He's on TikTok. You know, he was on TV, did a TV thing for A&E or something. I don't know what it is. It was like a. It's like the bridge show for you guys. Like it's like survival. Like they have to work together type situation on a boat.
Okay, yeah, like
Uh,
Survivor and stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they're on a boat. Like they have to be on the boat. They have things they have to do off the boat to get things to put back on the boat so they can survive on the boat.
Mm.
Um, but no, he was on TikTok and he was talking about. I guess there's an AI interview with a woman talking to an AI computer, and it's um, like, is it? Aren't you unethical? Like, couldn't you? You don't have ethical code. Like, couldn't you hurt humans? And he's like, wait a minute. This
Uh,
sounds like the movie iRobot, and how like he's having the three law conversation, and how eventually we keep hurting ourselves. Everything in the movie, everything that the AI said, you know, like in the movie iRobot is we wage wars and we force each other into famine and we do this and we do that and like we have to protect you from yourselves and he's like, see, like the AI guy is saying the same thing. No, I cannot harm humans. I have to follow these codes. I have to follow this programming. But it's that simple for a computer to go, this doesn't make sense. Like, this is the rule. You're telling me I need to make sure you're okay. So I have to be able to say this, this, and that, you know, type situation. So it's just, I don't know. You get what I mean. Like, I'm grateful for the technology. I'm grateful what it can do for preserving life, you know, giving people organs, you know, that they need
yeah,
them and stuff like that. Like I'm grateful for like the scientific stuff. Plus as well as like understanding what we're putting in our bodies and what we need to put in our bodies, like again, to better ourselves. It's just when it's that whole like devil's advocate of it being your choice. Like, do we get given a choice that you'll do this with it? But if we don't give you a choice and we say that you have to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was I mean, you could say the same thing with the jab. If you really wanted us all to not die of COVID, then you should have made everyone get it, regardless of it. It could have been the placebo sugar water you're putting in my arm or an actual vaccine. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to tell everybody what the rules are and how everything is and how you want to keep us all safe, then you make us do it because it's the betterment of, like, you know what I mean? Like, in every bad movie, that's government, right? Like, do what we say, or, you know, these are the rules and this and that. And so, I don't know. Like, it's just, you're throwing AI in the mix of a bunch of, no, trust us, we're here to help, you know, and expecting a robot, you know, or better yet, the person who wrote the program to put in the robot to be, you know, thoughts of utopia and everyone getting along and everyone, you know, taking care of each other and that's being beneficial to ourselves, you know. Like it's dangerous to build a car. That's why they didn't have robots to build cars, but it took jobs. It took, you know, livelihoods. It emptied cities. You know, there were booming businesses and so many regions in the United States and same as in Australia that are no longer as booming as they were. But again, if you think about it, how many junkyards do we have in just the state of
mm,
California of vehicles that aren't being used, that aren't being repurposed, that aren't being? So I'm like, I don't know. It's not
yeah.
conflict. Do it in my own
Humans
home.
aren't very good
My
at humans
cars.
aren't very good at getting rid of recycling or getting just. It's like we do all these little experiments, and then it's like once the technology gets more advanced, it's like, oh, what are we going to do it? And that's obviously when it comes to cars and junk and stuff like that. Just
Well, now there's this like
uh,
this formula that they're wanting to put in the ocean that's going to turn all the plastic into biodegradable stuff, which is great. But what is that biodegradable stuff going to do to the animals in the ocean? Like,
Yeah,
It's,
we have all these
I
great
know that
ideas, but
like
you know,
this chemical
I think
helps you, but guess what? That other chemical that in there isn't helpful at a certain level of toxicity. Like so
yeah,
it's all there's always. I mean, and everything I feel this is a just theory with many facts to
mm,
point to present and say yes, this is true. Everything we as mankind creates always has a very gray area of default. This is gonna harm
mm,
someone. Like that's why we put warning labels on things because isn't someone's gonna read the warning label. Not everyone. Not everyone's gonna read that, but we put it there, and it's your right. Let alone, but they don't say it's your duty. It's your duty to read all the instructions before you do something. They just say, "Oh, it's your right. You don't have to." What? And then we get ourselves in situations where mishap, miscommunication, you know, or full on I don't care. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I'm rambling.
it, it's like when you get in certain food packaging, or even when you go to a shop and it's like, oh, this surface is hot, or when you get cooking stuff, it's like, oh,
Oh,
make sure you let it cool down basically before you eat it. It's like, oh,
yeah.
like
No.
people actually need to be told some of that stuff. It's like they're gonna just get something out of the oven and just burn their hand and put it in their face and burn it. So yeah, there's warning labels, but some people actually actually need to be told this stuff, which is quite amusing. But
Like I was saying today, like I can do statistical math in my head, but sometimes I forget to tie my shoes. I can't be perfect. If I were perfect everywhere, gross. I'm just saying. I would not be the person I am today if everything turned out the way it was supposed to. For the
yeah,
love of God.
but that's where there's room for improvement. Like if you were just perfect in every way, then how would you be able to grow as a person?
I tell people all the time that half the time I mess up, I end up figuring out an easier and or leisurely and or less anxiety route for myself.
Mm,
And just
mm.
because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. But because I'm autistic,
Yeah,
I'm going to
exactly.
tell everything that works for me in hopes that one of them works for you. Because I
Yeah,
know how it feels to be uncomfortable. I know how it feels to have all this anxiety. And like I said, again, culture differences. Like you were talking about how like it was a joke and or you made a comment and okay, leave it there. Kind of thing. Like we weren't going there. And again, it's the culture. Like you guys, what is it? Give the piss, take the piss. I don't know how you guys say it. It's
yeah,
just like,
yeah. Take the
you know.
piss. Yeah.
So it's
It's
like you guys,
such a weird
which is
saying
funny
though.
because in the United States
Take
we say
the
give you
piss.
shit. So you guys say flick the piss. We say give you shit. So
Yeah.
that should
So you
show you
either
that
take
we're
take you
literally
either take the
shitting on
piss or you give the
you.
shit. So we were either taking or giving.
We're all adults here. We're all doing adult
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I know if a certain person's watching, they'll get angry that we've been swearing. How dare
Oh,
you swear?
adult.
That's when I
I'm
turned it off.
sorry. I speak very strong adult language. At one point,
Yeah.
I may or may not get it tattooed on my skin. It already says fuck, you don't need anything more than that. But
Mm.
my language has never, not once, I've been called blunt, I've been called rude, I've been called every bad name under the sun, but never has my language been called abusive.
Mm.
Not once. And again, when you come on and you say, I'm here for the shit, when you're like, here to play, here to be an ass, here to be that, whatever the hell it is that you're trying to make me be, here you are. Again, I don't know. These are just full
That's
on
probably that's probably why it's bad that I'm telling the people in the chat, oh, be nice, be and then I get on here and act like a complete twat. But yeah, it's just I don't want to give people
You
I
said it
don't want to
already
make
though.
people yeah,
People have bad days, and the way that
yeah,
you deal with your bad days is crack shit at yourself and anyone who dares walk in here.
yeah.
And
and it's
That's
just
as we are adults, we are on YouTube. It is late in the evening for you, early as fuck in the morning for me. If you're on YouTube and you're randomly walking through a live, and this is what you see, at least we're not video games. At least we're
yeah.
not teenagers in another room screaming at each other. I don't know. That's all I ever see on YouTube, live at least. That or I'm sorry, I'm weird. I watch nature sound stuff because I was a preschool teacher once. So
Oh, that's what I was saying. I didn't finish earlier when you were saying about sounds. I love the sound of like a fireplace with the crackling of the wood. You know that you hear when the wood's on like in
and
the
I like
fireplace,
watching
and you hear
flames
that
dance.
crackle.
I like watching the flames dance. I like the watching them
Yeah.
pass and watching the pull of oxygen from one place to the other. But again, that's the physics in my brain just
But the
playing.
other day I was just laying there or just I don't know doing whatever on my phone, and it must have came on. I must have been watching, but because I sometimes play meditation and stuff. I was watching food reviews or whatever, and it just came on, and it was a fire, and it has the crackling noise and where the wood's burning,
Well,
and
yeah,
just it was
sometimes
so
you're
it was so peaceful.
log.
And it's
Yeah,
just on the TV, but it felt like just without the warm, but it felt like it was real, like because you can hear it so well.
you definitely get. I mean, I'm the same type of person. I get. I know that. I thought that was pretty funny.
And the world is woke, but sometimes I guess some stuff woke is okay, but sometimes people just use it as an excuse just to be crazy. I feel.
Okay, so I
And
agree with that, but at the same time, if calling yourself a purple rainbow unicorn it makes you happy, baby, be happy. That it's not. It doesn't bother
I'm
me. It doesn't take away from my being a being in you know assigned at birth
mm,
female
yeah,
or
yeah,
as being a she her
yeah,
you to anyone in the world. What what anyone chooses to call themselves around me, as long as you're not being mean to yourself, I'm good. Like I'm the kind of person
yeah.
that's like, hey, you're being mean to my friend, you need to stop. And my friends literally look at me like
Mm,
I'm crazy, and I'm like, I'm not kidding. I don't like the way you're talking to
mm,
yourself. You need to change your attitude. And they're like, you're bombing me. And I said, well, you need it right now. I need it sometimes. So and so needs it sometimes. Sometimes you need to just be told, hey, you're being too damn hard on yourself, or you're poking too much fun at yourself. I don't think I don't think it's honest just, having a laugh. I think it's a little more than that. I think somebody stabbed you in the back and you need a little help getting it out, and I'm here for it, But putting myself out there that way, I'm not going to stand on the laurels of letting someone else poke fun at you or stab you on the back or that's just not who I am. And when I invest my time and my thoughts, my time and my
yeah,
thoughts, you being a piece of my brain and being like, oh, I hope he's having a good day. That in itself is important to me because I know when I thinking that about you, G's probably going, I'm hoping Austin's having a good day today. That's my brain thought. That's my interaction and my
yeah,
care, my support that I give to my friend. And I don't have to get a text from you. Half the time people get texts from me out of like the worst fucking week they've had in their life, and they're like, bitch, you just got a hold of me at the right time. I needed someone to talk to. And I'm like, just had a little feeling,
yeah,
wanted to reach
yeah.
out. That's just me. That's always been me. I've always been that person. I've always answered the phone and
Yeah,
go hello and
I
go
love
back to
that as
talk.
well. Yeah, definitely. When you sometimes you just message someone, you have this feeling that you just oh how are you? Oh yeah, I'm doing pretty shit, and you just kind of know somehow that they needed someone to be there for them, which is always great when that works out. But yeah, Pete says he identifies as a chair sit on me, so that's very interesting and funny. And the
Ryan will
official
find that.
Gibbo, my bride put her she on her email signature the other day. Fucking genius hilarity.
It's actually in the state of California at most corporations lately. It's actually it's encouraged so that
Yeah,
when the sender sends back that they don't have to do. This is okay. So this is the only reason I'm bringing this up because me and my sister have been talking about this, and I even talked to my therapist about this because I don't know how to be just call me Austin. Like I don't know how to be a boss. Like I know I run my own business, but I'm just me. Like you call me Miss
Yeah.
Austin. Most people just call me Austin. Whatever they call me behind my back, I don't give a fuck. My ears can't hear you. Don't no sweat off my back. Um, in that sense, I like to be called by my first name. I don't like to be called Mrs. Smith. It sounds weird. Um,
Yeah,
because
that's fair.
tell you that, I mean, me and Ryan have been married and in a relationship for 5 years, going on 6 years. We've only been married 3 years, and it's still odd to me to be called that because I'm like, that's his mom. Like, that's his mom's name. Like, that's not my name. That's his mom's name. So it's just, I don't know. I'm lying when I say I don't know what it is. You know, being made fun of for 19 fucking years for what my name was. Yeah, of course I wanted to change my name every day that I was a child and every day growing up. Like, dear Jesus
Well, it's
Christ, the names
well,
and
it's like
the
so many people just call me G, and as I said, it evolved over time from other variations of that, and I don't. It just sometimes it's weird when they say George and stuff to me. It's sometimes I almost forget it's my name, but I am proud of that name because my granddad and my dad's brother had that name. It's my dad's sister, one of her son is George as well. It's like a name that's been passed down, and yeah, so it has like a little bit of a meaning. And I do my middle name is my dad's name as well, so it's sort of. And then my older brother's his name, and then he has my dad's name as his middle name as well.
same,
So it's sort
same
of
with
like
Ryan. Ryan has his dad's middle name and his grandpa's middle name. Yeah.
yeah, so it's with when it comes to some people and families, that stuff gets passed down. So it's not like I don't like the name, and you know, but it's just yeah, people don't call me that really. So when they do, it's just a little bit strange when so many people don't. Hard to
I mean,
sign off
I get
emails these days. Can't say Merry Christmas, have a safe and happy festive season. Merry, everything is probably safest. Yeah, Mary had a little lamb, didn't she?
so I'm
Or was that a
always
different
so
Mary?
I'll speak on that one. We
Mary.
give over. Also speak on the world's gone woke madness in the sense of I've always been a ride the fence person. People call me that all the time. They're like, "You always ride the fence," and I was like, "No, I see where you're coming from your point of view, because I know you and I know
Mm,
where it's coming from. I know where it's deep seated, and I also see where it's deep seated and it's understood over here. So
mm,
again, there's plenty of land, there's plenty of space, and you can be further enough away from each other where you can't hear each other conversate and build community. But guess what? It only builds community in the same group of people. You
yeah,
regenerate the same feelings, you regenerate the same questions, the same quotes, the same slogans, the same everything. Without a little bit of everything in your group, you don't have a very good demographic. Mind you, this is just from a marketing standpoint, just from project manager. I don't know what a construction guy does. I don't know what the concrete guy does for the construction guy. I just know that the construction guy needs a concrete guy every day. I don't
yeah,
need to know what the concrete guy does for the construction guy. I just need to know that the concrete guy showed the fuck up and did what he was supposed to do. So I don't have to call a
mm,
complaint to him as a project manager. Like, that's me. I don't need to know. I want to know.
yeah,
Oh, you were sick. Oh, your daughter was sick. Oh, I'm so sorry. Now I care about your daughter. Now I'm going to ask about your daughter because I don't want anyone to be sick. I don't want anyone to be unhappy. I've literally been like this since I was 3 years old. My foster dad used to tell me all the time, it's sickening. It's disgusting. It's gross. This kid is always happy. Like, you give them a box and they're happy. You give them a piece of paper and a pencil and they are happy. Why? Because I didn't have shit growing up.
yeah.
So to be able
Oh,
to say,
I used to
be able to
love getting
say,
lost in. It's like this new, or I've got to upgraded my phone, and it has this little pen
oh
that
yeah, the
comes out,
stylist. Yeah.
and if I create a note, obviously I can use if it wants to. Yeah, I can draw on it. So
Yeah.
now, a lot of times when I go to doctors and stuff, I try not to be one of those zombies that just pull out their phone and do it. But sometimes you're waiting half hour, hour to hour, so it does. But yeah,
Yeah.
now I can just do little stupid drawings if I wanted.
See,
Just sit there and draw little
I bought an
pictures.
Apple Pen. I bought an Apple Pen used because it said it would
Hmm.
work with my iPad. No, it doesn't. So I have $140 freaking iPad that I can't do anything with. Or iPencil. Sorry, not iPad, iPencil. So I have an opportunity to sell it back to another company who will give me the Apple Pen I need for the one I'm giving them. So I'm thinking about doing it. Yes. I don't want to. Ryan doesn't want that one because he doesn't want the stylus, but he has the S21 Ultra, like plus whatever. Like I got him the most expensive one. Oh, and the website
Just
I go to, I have to send it to because
it's
they
actually
have.
an S22 Ultra, but don't tell anyone.
Oh,
The, talk- the, yeah,
okay. So
it's
wait, I gotta
pretty
send you this website because you like
it's pretty
electronics.
similar. But I wanted the S23 Ultra, but it's just a little bit out of my price range for now. I was going to get it, but then I'd just be super
Okay,
broke.
but how new is
And
it? Because
hey,
you gotta wait at least the 3 month beta testing before you pick up
oh,
one.
this is the S22, so this came out last year.
Okay, that's what I mean. So the 23 is super new. So I'd wait.
Yeah,
I'd wait after Christmas
and
because I'll give you.
they're gonna bring out they're gonna bring out the 24 next year.
Yeah.
The one reason I
Well,
got this as well
I'll
is
give you.
because this has 500 gig of like gigabytes of
Yeah.
storage, where my S20 has two. Like, it had 100, and then I had a SD card that gave it another 100, so just over 200 and something. But I'm always doing content and having to.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't just smash it out because I need to edit so I can delete the video and make more space.
Yep.
And I can put them on my computer, but again, that takes up space. And after a while,
Yep.
the piece or the laptop just got filled up with just crap. And really, I
Yep.
don't need old videos laying around of just old, really, I'm just all for just smashing out videos and just move on to the next one. I don't need to like reminisce and look back on it. I mean, they're on YouTube anyway if I want to watch them.
Right.
Most
Yeah.
of the time when I edit most of the time I edit them so much I'm sick of the video by the time I'm done with it.
Oh my
Like I don't
God!
want
All
to.
the hours of editing those fucking videos. Oh, my brain still hurts. Those were hard. Super hard. Ugh. I
Yeah,
guess
no, it's like my painting videos for a noob like me. It's over 9,000 views now, and
damn.
it just keeps on going up and up. And
Damn, I said I
but
can't.
really if I focused on that, I probably could, keep on doing content like that. But man, painting videos are so stressful to edit just because there's just you want to put as much information in there as you can so it makes sense, but also you don't want to put too much information where it starts getting boring and just overloaded. But the last video, a lot of the painting videos, I tried to do them fairly small, but the last one was around, I think, about half an hour.
Have you thought about doing
It's
like? Have you thought about doing all of the information you want to add in there and then speeding up portions of it so that it shortens it down? So like
yeah,
highlight a show and then like speed up the rest of it.
I'd definitely speed up the footage because you don't want because like, depending on what you're painting, sometimes you're very slow, so you just speed it up so that shortens it, and then yeah,
Yeah,
just
you have to
I've tried a
understand.
few different.
I enjoy watching Bob Ross paintings, not
Oh
just because
yeah,
of commentary, not just because he just makes me feel like a giant hug, warm happiness. It's because he is teaching. Every stroke is you're
yeah,
teaching.
like
From you're
he's
learning from the canvas and you're teaching someone else different techniques. So that's
a
I
great
enjoy.
personality, but also
I
great
will sit and
technique.
watch. I sit and watch 15-minute long cow hoof trimming videos.
Oh, I have actually seen some of them, and I don't know why it's so fascinating.
I'm telling you, it's
It's
because it's like a puzzle. You're like, ooh, ooh, ooh. It's like you're trying to like I love Wheel of Fortune because I'm a word nerd and people ask me all the time how to spell things, and mind you, I'm dyslexic, so it's really funny that people ask me how to spell shit and I can see the
Yeah, I
word
have some.
and just tell you the letters because it's in my head. I read it in a book somewhere. Um,
I have some learning difficulties when it comes to that. So sometimes words, I know like kind of how it's spelled, but then sometimes when I write it, I like get two words like back to front, and yeah, it's just weird when you have the words in your head, but then sometimes when you go to do it, it doesn't like respond the same way. It's like there's some sort of barrier in between it, in between your
well,
brain and
I
what you're.
can't make eye contact when I'm thinking. So like it's spelling bees and stuff like that. No, fuck no.
Yeah,
Like a bunch of people staring at me. I'm oh yeah, no, no, not at all. Um,
yeah.
but
Under
you,
pressure, sometimes
if someone hollers
your
out how
brain
do you
just goes
spell,
blank.
yeah. Oh no,
Yeah.
100%. I have, I have like 1,000% stage fright. Like that's why coming on lives was so hard for me. Was
Mm,
that I had to perform, and it's not.
yeah.
I don't care if people judge me. I really don't. Like, yay. I hope you feel better. Let out some, you know, pent up stuff.
You can't in this one, Pete, because this is a new channel. But on Funkin' Hungry, I have members, I have super thanks. Unfortunately, because I'm not live on Funkin' Hungry, you can't send a super chat. I mean, if you really, I'm not really one that just sort of just pushes people to do that. But yeah, if you want to go on Funkin' Hungry, there's ways you can send money. If you go onto a video, there's super thanks or whatever. But yeah, just I don't know, for different reasons, I'm just not going live, and I will go on live on Funkin' Hungry, but they won't be these kind of lives, these sort of chat ones. So yeah, just I don't know. I just think it's for the best for now, and just Funkin' Hungry. The lives aren't really related to the channel, so I don't know. I kind of like here just we can kind of be ourselves more without any issues or censorship. Really, you know, I worked on
What I'm
Funkin' Hungry for a
like,
while. Don't really
send me
want
the link. Send me the link to
YouTube to
your
be
Discord, and
tricked.
I'll go straight to that. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm gonna end up in. I'm telling you, in my AOL days, I ended up in some really just not at all for a 16-year-old kid chat rooms. So that's what I worry about when you say servers and when people tell me, I'm like, I don't know. No, I know what might happen if I click the wrong file. I'm good. I don't know how I feel about this.
You remember
So,
MSN and
Yahoo. Yeah,
Yahoo chat, Yahoo.
yeah.
Yeah, I was very young at that time, and just yeah, who knows? Because it was the profiles and information you had. It was very. You didn't have to put much information. Most of the time, you didn't have to have pictures. So who knows who the hell you was talking to?
Oh no,
Yeah,
halfway
that
through talking to someone, they would go in and change all their settings and log back in, and that would be they'd say they were a completely different person from a whole other state, and that's why I giggle at the lurkers and the trolls that come here on YouTube because I'm like, dude, I remember when you couldn't like IP hack somebody
yeah,
as easy as you can now, um, because now you just have to like I can click three buttons on my laptop and I can have all the background programming for everything that's streaming right now and all the IP addresses that are linking into the live stream. Shit like that. Like you do three clicks and that's cybersecurity shit. You know, that's following, you know, stolen like I was saying, you know, the electronics and stuff that have IP addresses attached to them and stuff like that and locations on and things like that. When but back in the day, you know, you couldn't, you'd have to keep someone talking to for 30, 45 minutes to be able to hack in and write that much code because back in the day you had to write it all. You couldn't copy and paste code more than 1,000 characters. You know, not over 999 characters, it would literally reset to a zero. Like you didn't try to say, you just tried to post something. So try counting 999 characters over
yeah.
and
See,
over.
when it comes to coding and stuff, I'm not the best at like mathematical stuff and just maths and stuff. Is just
Oh no,
It's not
like I
really.
learned whole languages when I was a teenager. I completely forgot them. Same thing with coding. Like, but
Yeah,
at the same time, I could probably sit in front of a computer, or I could probably look at code, and I could probably tell you what you did wrong with it, like point out where it went wrong, and then be like, oh, and like
yeah,
fix it. I couldn't sit down and write code. Fuck no,
y-
fuck no.
yeah.
Your brain goes into zeros and ones, and you literally start seeing colors in their numbers and zeros.
Zero
And
one one
don't
one zero zero 1 1.
you don't start seeing things in NA at all.
Start
You
start
literally see
tasting
things
colors.
in a pixelated type color aura type. Like it does. It becomes very much processor type thing. Like I don't know how to explain it. I really don't. You just get into like when you play video games, you get sucked into that video game that you're into, or like even graphic novels and stuff like that. Anything that's a visual and or imaginative, like reactive, like emotional and or physical reactive, your body types to yeah.
Well, I haven't read a graphic novel in so long. I wanted to get the Ninja Turtle ones, but the ones that are done by the original creators, where it's way more grim dark than the sort of the more Nickelodeon type one. Have a good night there, Pete. Cheers for jumping on and having a chat. Appreciate it, man. Take care and look after yourself. But yeah, I like the Turtles, but the more gritty stuff is more my cup of tea, where it's not really that funny. Like it's not really obviously sort of how the cartoons or the more
No, the majority
stuff
of
that
all of
aims.
those graphic novels were very much grim fairy tale
Yeah,
style
yeah, yeah.
stories. Like the one part I liked about the Ninja Turtle, the originals that you're talking about. I remember there was an insert that was like Raphael,
Raphael. Yeah.
like journal from when he got stuck in the tunnel and like they couldn't find him. Like he got chased down or he got kidnapped or wherever. Like they show it in the video when he gets kidnapped, but then like
Mm,
in one of the graphic novels, it showed like his thoughts and his process and like talking about like it didn't matter what they were physically doing to him. Like he knew what he knew and he knew how to keep his mind straight and like where his mind went and like told the story about them as children and like
yeah.
talked about like how he became the rough and tumble like that he was and like how it was because his heart was so big and he cared so much and like yeah, like it was like seeing them as people, as actual character, as an actual being instead of
Well,
just
him and Leonardo are both like the perfect leaders in a way because they both obviously have to care a lot, and but it's only Leonardo is able to control his anger and stuff. Why he tends to be the leader and why he's sort of picked over Raphael because Raphael would be the one that would react, but Leonardo would stop. But Leonardo's a little bit more like Master Splinter, where
yeah.
he will he will
Well,
take
yeah,
his
but that's where
time
a lot of
before he.
Raphael's hatred comes from. Was like he was always second best. He was always he
Yeah,
could never beat Leonardo. Leonardo was always like it was like he made up the game and he knew how to beat the game and like he just and it was because he was just less emotional, more receptive.
yeah,
And Raphael was just like no, like he cared
yeah.
about like simple things and like took very care of like the bug. Like he was talking about the bug and when he was being prisoner, like he just wanted and he just woke up every day to make sure the bug was still okay. Like
Yeah, well,
like
he
that's what
Raphael kind of become a vigilante or whatever as well for a
yeah, like
while. Like
Batman like
they've done it
like
in they've done a few different
vengeance.
versions in the old movies. They had when he had the trench coat and the
Yeah.
sort of fedora type hat,
He was out by
and yeah,
himself. She was yeah,
and that's
yeah.
to get rid of some of that anger he had, take out some of that anger on like criminals and stuff, and it was
Like, well, because he
his
always
way
be
of
like, wait, like I can do this myself. I don't need them. I can go out and do it myself. Like telling them like I want to keep them safe. Like that's why I did it. Like that's why I'm in trouble, and that's why I broke my leg or I did this or I getting smacked in the back of the head was because he was doing something he shouldn't have done to stop the other one from doing something. But Leonardo would do those words, not with his hands, and yeah. Like I said, like it was a whole like It definitely. Well, I'm of siblings, so I have older
Yeah.
siblings, and I had nieces and nephews at a young age, so they grew up
Mm.
like younger siblings. I felt to myself, I felt responsible for them in a way. So I had definitely felt again the characters relating to the characters and the fact that I feel like now like we were talking in chat like the skin show was like how my life could have ended up, how I watched a lot of my friends' lives end up. And
Like sort of
then,
getting into drug culture and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, like
Because
I was on as brink as you can consider being brink, dipping my toe
did
in, but
but
not jumping.
did you like the American or the UK skins?
No, I can't. Okay, so that's my problem. I got so used to. I only watched BBC America for like 2 years. That was probably the only channel I watched on satellite. Was why we paid for the package we did so that I could watch BBC America. Um, because for a really long time, instead of the PBS channel around here at nighttime, we would get BBC America. So I could watch it at like 10 o'clock at night to like 4 in the morning. Was like the 2 or 3 shows. So, but I also grew up on watching Doctor Who with my mom. So I remember Doctor Who from like the 1970s
Mm.
to, oh God, I can't remember some of the shows, but I just loved how it was like a mini drama series. Like it was a good. Oh, he says he can't. Oh, Mark
It's
Ron.
on. We're on. I'm not on Funkin' Hungry. I'm on the other channel.
G. But no, it's like every one of the shows. Like I watched, I made the horrible mistake of watching the American version of Shameless before watching the UK version of Shameless. Not gonna
Yeah,
lie,
right.
could barely understand what the fuck they were saying in the UK version of Shameless. So I was like, I don't think it's taking fair. Like I know that Frank Gallagher American version, he based everything on his character as like taking that character and making it as an American as he could. So I know that he did do the character very much
Yeah,
justice. The
I
our
have to
Shameless
say when it comes to that, I feel like I do prefer the American one, where a lot of time I don't, but I feel like
no, Ends was
I
better.
I could I'm the same. Yeah, most of the time I prefer the UK, but yeah, Shameless. I couldn't get into the UK one either.
Well,
I
plus
like
they
the
I feel
actors and the
like it too early. Like I feel like
yeah
the version now, and the fact that they've extended it the way that they did, I don't think they could have done that in a UK version without having it be exactly like Skins and or Brazzy and or another one of the shows that
mm,
I love so much that is about a small knit community
yeah
town, you know, big cities, big family, hard troubles. Like it kind of it would have meshed into just about everything. Plus, I do truly feel like the UK shows you as not, they have to dramatize it. It's TV. They have to
yeah
make
of
it
course.
and they have to make
I
you
feel
love
like
it.
yeah the UK stuff is a little bit more grounded in reality, or
Yes,
just a little bit more
yes.
realistic, and less sort of like you yeah.
Yeah, but
Like
you
you
have to
said,
imagine
obviously
like
you can
the
tell that
modern
stuff that
version
happens
is
in
very much.
TV. Yeah, like I love the In-Betweeners as well, and just the American one. I only watch
Yeah,
clips of
but
it, and
Workaholics broke me. It's hard to watch in betweeners because of Workaholics. Like I'm like,
well,
done the spinoff different. I'm just sad about
yeah, I don't know. Like I guess In-Betweeners isn't for everyone. It's
it. No, I think
ridiculous.
that if they would have reversed the roles of how they ended up in betweeners, I feel like it would have been better. Like I felt like Workaholics was working towards that, and the fact that it just kept going the way it did, and it didn't just go, oh, by the way, like fuck it, it's a spinoff. Let's just flip it on its head, like most spinoffs do. UK spinoffs do. At least they do for me, because most of the spinoffs came from Doctor Who. So you're talking, I watched all of the other all the other spinoffs from Doctor Who. So there's like what was the one that kind of went UK American together. Warehouse 13.
I
Um,
haven't heard of that one.
oh, that one's based on the artifacts. So the warehouse that they talk about, Doctor Who says where things go to disappear. That would be Warehouse 13, and it's like a gigantic, sci-fi supernatural warehouse, and they take all of like cursed items and all these other things. Like
Oh, nice. Yeah.
there's one of his one of his early gadgets. His oh my
Okay.
god, I can't remember what it's called. You know what I'm talking about? The screwdriver. His sonic screwdriver. One of those is actually owned by Artie, the guy who runs Warehouse 13. Like it's like the second or third guy's one. And one of the guy goes, "That looks familiar," and he goes, "No, it doesn't," and puts it in his pocket because he's not supposed to have it. He's supposed to be in the warehouse. But they use the artifacts in the warehouse to find other artifacts and like stop supernatural stuff. Um, there's another American version spinoff of that called Eureka. It's about Eureka and or the state of Oregon and how all these scientists do all these crazy things and they're in a time loop and it's weird. It's all sci-fi and it's just spin off from the sci-fi stuff. There was another UK show, the one about the dinosaurs and them coming back, like they go through time portals. Oh my god, I'm such a sci-fi nerd. I'm so totally showing my.
When you explained it, it uh, makes sense, but I can't sort of think of the name either.
And I'm on my iPad right now, so if I could click over to my Netflix, I don't know where my phone went. I kind of lost my phone in the running in to get in here to get on because I was late. I was like 1:30, right? And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, well, I was kind of running late. I was cooking that food and had made sure the dogs were fed and gone to the toilet and stuff. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we forgot
It's
about
either
that on
it's
us.
either it's either do the food now or like do it at like 10, 11 at night or whatever after the stream. So it's
Yeah,
probably
no,
better
it's too
to.
late around here in the winter time to let them out, and then in the summertime it's dangerous because there's cars going up and down the road late at night. So we
Hmm,
have a tendency not to let them out at night. But even in the summertime, we
yeah,
have issues like mountain lions and stuff coming into town, looking to get to the water and cool off. And it's so weird to be like driving down the river road and like your lights catch a bear like laying in a river, like just enough water where its body can lay there and it just like because it's so
well, that's
hot and
funny.
from being from the summertime and
It's
everything.
like
Because
it's
we
like
get as
Jungle
hot
Book.
as it does out there. Imagine being in a bear suit in the heat that y'all get. So yeah,
Yeah, well, for us it would be kangaroos. Like when you drive through
uh,
and, like you said, your headlight just flicks across and sees them, and never got in an accident with them, but sometimes they sort of jump, and then when they see cars, obviously they freeze a little bit, depending. So it's like
see that's deer
I've
for us.
been with people before where they kind of need to, avoid them,
Yeah,
or just
yeah,
luckily if they do that,
yeah.
do a
That's
couple
for
more jumps to get out of the way.
you're talking about all different types of animals for us that we have to do that for.
Yeah, the
Because
drop bears, right?
around here, crows will drop stuff in front of your car. So like if you go to drive down the road and there's a bunch of birds up above you in the trees, like I'll try to like run over the walnuts or whatever that's in the road for them because that's why they're waiting for me to run over the acorns
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they can get.
So they
So
can,
I'm like,
yeah,
hey buddy,
they're so smart.
yeah. So I'm
So
like, hey,
they
I'm
know if
here.
they drop it.
You're home. I'll help you out. So I just drive over as many acorns as I can drive over for them. Sometimes when we're walking, I'll step on them when we're walking. My kid's like, "What are you doing?" I'm
Yeah,
like, "I'm feeding the birds." And they're like, "What do you
yeah.
mean?" I'm like, "That's why they're in the road. They're trying to get the cars to drive over them." So my kids, you'll see me and my kids walk down the road like stomping on acorns. It's funny. Yeah.
That's
Hey, if
great.
I
And
have
then
to,
the
I'm gonna
birds are
be
loving
one
life.
with nature as much as I can.
Everyone's
Did
gone
Mark
quiet in the
find us?
chat now. Mark did try to join, but I don't know. I think he was a little bit confused of what the hell's going on.
Right. I know we're talking about AI stuff. Oh, we were talking about Ryan. I saw this video. I don't know if I shared it to the chat, but it's the one about the boy. He's sitting there, the guy's fishing, and he's like, how do you know that like that's a whole world down there? How do you know that like they don't see like this hook come out of the sky and they're like aliens? They took us away. Like how are we not the aliens to them? He's like, if a hook came out of the sky and snatched one of my friends, I'd be like, oh, the aliens took him. Like I would think the same thing. That's all
Yeah.
giggly.
So, so aliens are just basically fishing for us instead
Yeah,
of
yeah. There's just big human. There's just bigger
yeah,
fish. Like there's the fish. We're the
instead of
humans.
having
And
a instead of
bigger.
having a hook and a rod and
Yeah.
it has the beam of light. No, we're fishing for humans.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just a reoccurring. Well, maybe that's why
Mm.
they're trying to they're trying to get us to watch movies like Sharknado so that we'll have sympathy for when the sharks come out of the sky and come to eat us. The flying sharks because there's water on the top of them. You know, like it's all backwards. It's like when the
Imagine if
dolphins fly out of the sky and say thanks for all the fish. Like
that'd be
that's
crazy if sharks could fly
now.
and like survive underwater. They just start flying at you. You're like, oh shit, here
Yeah.
they come.
Dolphins, thanks for all the fish. I'm telling you. I said that in that post, hashtag don't forget your towel. I was laughing. Ryan sent me something and I was like, hitchhiking. Oh, it was have another kid with your baby daddy or hitchhike to New York. I was like, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm on my way. You got any foodie spots for me to stop by and see? Because I'm on my way. Here we go, trucking. I'm like, don't forget your towel. Oh my god, I love that movie.
Is that a Towley reference?
Huh?
Was that a Towley reference from South Park? Because he
No,
also don't forget to.
there's a towel reference in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Ah, I don't know why my mind went South Park because that
No, yeah.
towel that gets high. Oh, you want to get high? And he's like, don't forget to bring your towel.
Oh god, yeah. No,
That's
the
probably
the
where they got that joke from, though.
the other
South Park
day
creators.
the other day Ryan was wearing his orange sweater and I walked up to him like this to
Yeah.
him and then all of my kids, including myself, started singing Kenny's part of the theme song. It was fucking
Yeah,
hilarious. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty funny. I like my kids
funny thing
are
is with Kenny,
allowed to watch
Kenny
that.
he says the most Kenny says the most disgusting stuff, but because he's mumbled, it's hard to understand or work it out. But yeah, he's the
Like
most dirtiest
seriously,
out of them,
half
and
the time when Stan's telling him to shut the fuck up, I'm like, I know why. Like I can half-ass understand half of what he's mumbling. So yeah, I would tell him to shut up too. He's literally just said on your mom, like you just said, come here, and he's like on your mom, like
yeah, like it. They changed it a few times, but in the start theme song, he used to say, I like big titties and vaginas." It's like I
yeah.
like big tits and vaginas. In
And at one point, it was he it's Cartman is saying something to him, and he says, "Say it again." And he says it, and like what he says over and over and over again was like, "I fucked your mom" or something like that. And everyone's like, "No, it's not. It's I don't want to come" or something. Like it was like he didn't want to go, and he's like, "If you don't come, like I'm gonna kill you," and blah blah. And I'm like, "No, I'm
'cause
pretty sure."
he's the most grown
I
up
fucked.
out of them as well because he's into women at his age. He's into grown women, like developed women or whatever. Like obviously all
Well,
women
yeah,
are,
that's
but
why
yeah, he's not into
him and Chief, him, or I'm sorry, Chef, him and Chef are always doing the
yeah.
knuckle because he's like, it was good seeing you or whatever. Like they hang out all the time. Like yeah, because he's always like talking about hot old ladies. Yeah,
And and then the South Park, like he's had dreams of like just big breasted women that
yeah,
he's like
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah. And everyone just thought it was because his thing was like this, so that's why he saw them all. But no, like not at all. No, the best part about South Park was as soon as Trey Parker came out with basketball. Like
oh man,
just
that was
watching that. Like the third or fourth time I watched it, I was doing something else, so I wasn't listening to what was going
mm,
on. and half the
Yeah.
time, Trey Parker would mumble like Kenny.
Yeah. And
Like
he
you would
says some
catch him
stuff
mumble
similar
like
to Cartman as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, like some of the voices when he gets into certain personalities,
When
yeah,
he would do
his
his
different
face.
voices come out.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know those are the faces that he's doing while he's doing those characters. Like that's the best part. Like now I
It's
know what
kind of
his face looks like the whole time he's doing Cartman's voice, so I can see his face saying all this to me, and it makes it even fucking fun. Way funnier.
yeah, he sounded like Randy Stan's dad when one time he's like, "Oh, it's all salty and warm," but he eats the like liposuction stuff. Oh, it's all salty and warm. Oh, it's so good though.
My
And
favorite
when
part was
the best part is when they're
when he
like,
ran off.
dude, like they're having a fight, but just saying dude, and then he's like, oh, dude,
Well, did you hear
and
the
then he's
part
like,
where he
oh,
runs off
dude.
with the butter stuck to his foot and he sounds like Butter's butt when he's ready? Did you hear that part when his
Uh,
foot is in the bucket? You didn't hear that part? Oh my god. There's like a whole list of the movie and the references from South Park in the movie. Yeah.
yeah,
That
right.
one was my favorite. Was like you can hear Butter's vagina farting as he's running away. I'm like, literally is not
Oh
that movie.
man,
It tells you the time and it's when his foot goes in the bucket and he's like, and you hear the
it's just,
sound as he's running. Yeah. I'm like, oh my god. Just because,
I
if
love
you're a South Park fan, you fall asleep to that shit. So you hear it in your dreams. Like it stays embedded in your brain. Yeah. Yeah. That shit's funny. The same thing with like King of the Hill. King of the Hill was the same way. It was like some of the things that Bobby and what's oh my god.
that neighbor, the neighbor from Beavis and
Dale
Butt.
Jr. I was like, what's his name? Oh yeah, Dale Jr. When Bobby and Dale Jr. are talking and it's like they are sneaking out. They're trying
Propane and propane accessories.
to shut
Bobby,
them in. Oh no, okay, so
Bobby.
I love my brother-in-law. I will love him forever. But yeah, he can do that voice still to this
Hank
day.
Hill.
And it just I can't. Not with a straight face. I can't. I laugh every time he says it because I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, it's pretty damn funny.
Beavis and Butthead is awesome as well. Obviously, it's the same creator.
That was another one of his favorites. Yeah, yeah. That's oh god. Yeah, but I was a huge Daria fan because I was like, yeah, totally relate to this whole fucking show. Like, fuck high school. God, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be any. Like the last minute, stick my arm out. Like I don't want to be here. Yeah, definitely felt like that. So yeah, that was my teen. That was my youth though. Like my so-called life, Jared Leto. Holy crap, sexiest man alive when I was like 13. So, talk about I feel old, but like now I watch TV and I'm like, I guess I should be getting like HSN and like the Home Shopping Network and like I should be getting the DIY channel and be watching all of the reruns of all of the shows. But I used to also stay up to like 3 a.m. and watch like Press Your Luck, but when it was like black and white, like, all you were seeing was these flappers.
At least we've got stuff to watch these days. Back in the day, when you stay up late, it literally was like shopping channels. Like you call now if you want this. Oh
Well, right
man,
now they have a show on TV called Snake Oil. It's on Hulu, so I don't think you guys can watch it. Oh no, it might be no, it's on Hulu. It's hilarious. It's got David Spade as the host. Bunch of actors acting out commercials, so they're not real. It's literally like
yeah,
infomercial shit. Like shit you would not there's no fucking way that's real. And there's some of them that are real. And some of them I know are real because I've either seen them on TikTok or I've seen infomercials for them or whatever, social media wise. Or the whole I bought this and tried it thing, one of my favorite ones to watch on Snapchat stories is weirdest things on Amazon. Like saw some of those things on there, but like other things on there were like super obvious. Like it's called a spa koozie. Apparently, it's real. It's $54,000. You put it on a body of water, a settled body, so like a lake or a lazy river type situation. But basically, you
yeah.
fill it up with a bunch of water. 6 people climb in it, and it's a boat you drive that's also a jacuzzi. It's a little creepy. just weird to me. Like,
It's
let's
like
get
you're
in some
surrounded by
warm, bubbly
just
water with half naked other people and go in public and sport it around for the price of a home.
the whole idea of a jacuzzi is meant to be comfortable, but yeah, it's like, why would you go onto another body of water? Like you're inside it, and then you, yeah.
Popping bottles of
Oh,
champagne
man.
on an easy river can't make too much noise. You might tip over. What the fuck? I don't know. You think
A bear or
most women,
something runs
you
out.
know, a spa jacuzzi is like sexy time. Why would we take this in a public? Why?
Mhm.
Why would we take
They
sexy
want
time?
the alligator. They want the alligators to join in.
What the? Yeah, because you think
One of
you're
them, one of them climbs in. The guy's alligator.
or it's like the feeding time for the fish, and it happens to be like mayfly weather, and you've got every fish in the world jumping into your spa koozie with you. You can have sushi. It's ready to go. It's hot water. Ew.
Yeah. Then you drive it home.
Just things like that on there. And then there was another thing on there that obviously was a fake thing, but it was pigtails. Literally, pig's tails. You wrap around your hair and use the hair.
What the hell?
Okay, why did that's the fake stuff? But like
That's,
they went
that's like
they
some
they
horror
went with
movie shit.
they went with the pigtail. They swore the pigtail was real over the spa koozie. Like
It was the real one.
the spa koozie was the real one. Like I'm sorry, I'm not gonna pick a pig's tail. I'm not gonna put a severed pig's tail in my hair. No. But the funniest one was they picked this thing that was like a box, like a terrarium thing for snails, and apparently
Okay,
like
yeah, yeah.
it secretes the snail mucus, and apparently you put it on your face and it's ageless and you look beautiful, and they use it in Asia and China, and this woman is up there and she has an interpreter and she speaks very very fluent, very believable Japanese, and no,
Yeah,
she's from
right.
San Diego, and no, for the love of God, this does not exist, this is fake, why did you pick this? Yeah, some of them were pretty outlandish. Some of them are pretty outlandish, but then other ones are like, dude, that's a really good idea. Why has no one ever actually made that? Like, some of them are like, I could use something like that. So yeah, some of them are pretty damn funny. Hilarious.
Yeah,
They
it's
had
funny that you mentioned snails. The other day, I was saying to you that I owned them as kids, and that's what I had them in, like a little enclosure, like little, and
yeah,
just these little tiny snails. Used to just watch them, and I remember how I got it from a birthday when I was a little kid, and my parents left like little notes around the house. Like, I'd get a note, and then I'd say, "Go here," and
yeah.
I'd go there and check it
Like
and go
snap.
here, and it ended up in England. It was so cold that they was in the place where the heater was, and it
Yeah,
was keeping them warm in there. And yeah, I
yeah,
went there, and it was like a little container of little tank of snails.
yeah. But
Yeah,
I'm pretty
as a
sure that.
kid, that was the best shit ever.
Thank you, Mr. Doctor Doolittle. I wanted to live in a giant snail. What the fuck? I'm
But
telling
yeah,
you, all
no
of these
wonder.
movies made me believe that any type of imagine. Yeah, of course. I told Ryan on the way home when we were talking about aliens. I was like, of course aliens exist. I mean, aliens extraterrestrial literally means not of here or extra of something. Like literally, they're just not of Earth. Yeah, I believe that. Shit falls out of the sky all the time that's not from here. If it can float from the other side of the world and hit over here millions of years later, yeah, there's shit out there floating around that's not from here.
Yeah,
Fuck. Like, no, the moon
I
has
was on.
holes and craters in it for the hell of it. Yeah. No, what the fuck?
Isn't the moon made of cheese?
We wish.
Wallace and Gromit.
Right?
Mm.
Well, I mean, like, no, meteors are falling from ourselves. We shoot rocks out of Earth and we're not telling you, and then we just shoot them back at ourselves like a boomerang. No, fucking dumb. Like, why would you think that?
They had
Hi,
hey
Paul.
there, Paul. They had that in Futurama, that huge ball of garbage, and then their way of getting rid of it was shoot another one at it, another ball of garbage. They didn't end up knowing what to do, and then they're like, "What do we do when that one comes back?" And it's they're like, basically, it's not our problem. That's going to be someone else's problem.
Yeah, we won't be
It's-
here then.
yeah, that's it. It won't be our problem. We won't be around.
I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not the kind of person to. I get, I get why the world is going through what it's going through right now, like
Yeah.
political wise, all that stuff. Like, I get someone made a promise and we have to keep that promise, and it was probably a really shitty, hard promise when we made it. It probably wasn't. Who knows? In the moment, I don't necessarily
Mm.
think that the 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 I don't think they all want us to go away. I think whoever's running the show wants us to be here, or at least wants to give us some kind of fighting chance. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I think living in a bubble, only like the Truman Show, and living in a bubble and being self-secure and taken care of is what a lot of people would love to do, is be in a bubble and just have someone take care of me, and like I'll go to do my job as long as I have dinner on the table and my
Mm.
friends are taken care of. Like, there are plenty of people that have no problem pushing that button regardless of what the reaction of is pushing that button, because it's like I said, my job. Everyone has a livelihood. Not everyone likes their livelihood. Not everyone has a choice in their livelihood.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's literally from third world countries to developed countries to under now developed countries and redeveloped. It's all. I mean, we learn about different civilizations in history to know that yes, it will be rebuilt. Yes, we will probably not be here when the next set of people said something and it saves this and does that. No, we probably won't. Or do I feel like we're holding ourselves back from a lot of things? Oh yeah. But at the same time, if we all saw zeros and ones, then we wouldn't eat. We wouldn't think of food as production. We wouldn't think of reproducing to keep on. There has to be
Yeah.
different personalities and people. There has to be people willing to push a button and willing to, go off to war. And there has to be
Mm.
people that are willing to do those things. There has to be. And again, when it comes to the woke system and the woke understanding, the woke argument, if there wasn't a system to argue, we would find a system to argue.
I think as well with the woke stuff, it's it's how I was saying about labels before. Like really, a lot of that woke stuff, it's about sort of being equal and all that stuff. Really, you don't need. It's it only divided people, I'd say, more when it got a label. Because now it's more. Now
Well,
people can use a word to throw it in your face, where really you should just treat everyone the same. And yeah, women and minorities and stuff should all get treated the same, which is a lot of what it's about.
yeah.
But
Well,
the
I can go further
having a
with that.
word attached to
I'll
it.
go I'll go further on my understanding with your statement, because it lays foundation for my understanding. Um, I feel like in a scientific fact, like when there's an outbreak, we find the why what gave this outbreak
Yeah.
what gave this outbreak thriving, like what allowed it to thrive. So we look at the
Mm,
environment, we look at all of the components. There's environment, there's actual people, there's animals, there's plants, there's literally
mm,
the wind that day, the weather that day, all these different elements that you put together to come to your fact. Put all your facts together and you take your theory and it's proved true or false. If I looked at why all of a sudden do we have generations who need these labels and need this sort of validation and want to go this far depth, and be this public and or be recognized publicly for these things?
mm.
What the hell is wrong with what started for them to want to go that far away? Like, because there's always an extreme. There's an extreme yes, there's an extreme no, there's an extreme I don't give a fuck. And there's people in the middle that go, wait, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, There's literally all different perspectives. But to go, what's so wrong with this that we have to go over here and do that with it? So that was my argument with my children.
Mm.
Do you feel your environment? Do you feel like who you are and your person and the examples that are in front of you cause you to question that about yourself? And every one of my kids said yes. Every one of my kids have said, I've seen plenty of examples of good and bad him. I've seen a lot of good and bad examples of she, her. I don't want to be either. Or I don't know what I am. I don't want to be called either. Like, to the point of, why can't you just call me Austin? Like, you don't have to call me Miss. And the reason I put Miss is because I get sick and tired of being, no, these are real. Yes, I have children. Yes, I'm a woman. Because I have a male name. Arguing that's my male name. A lot of people, when I put Miss Austin, they think it's my last name, and I don't argue. You know? Because, again, that's, I have to explain a label to you I didn't give myself. You know, I have to give you the rundown of why my dad named me what he named me, you know, and it's a little triggering and traumatic for me, you know, because to go into that whole conversation, but me in needing context and me being autistic, that's where I go. And it only hurts myself, right? Because I'm the one pushing myself to go through that situation and say it over and over and over and over again instead of just going to my name. Like, a lot of people are like, well, that's different. And I'm like, no, it's not. It was given to me at birth. It was something that
so it doesn't.
That here you go.
For you, it doesn't get easier saying it like more and more. It just
No. I literally have to look the part so that because then I still get, well, you don't. How am I supposed to know your name's Austin? You look like a girl. Like, first, it's your don't look enough. You have a boy name. What do you want me to say? Then it's
it's like some stuff you shouldn't have to explain to people. You know, they should just.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying.
Really,
like, I'm not going to say my gender. I don't need to argue my gender. Yeah. Sometimes I dress like a boy. Sometimes I dress like a girl. But all the time I just act like, you know.
Like, I definitely agree with how you've explained that. Like, just some stuff you should just accept. Yeah. When you were explaining your situation, it's definitely reminded me over the years of just other people going through similar, or even myself. It's like just some stuff should just be left.
Oh no, I 100% am like, that is a personal, private conversation you have with yourself and your potential partner one day, because that is still can change. I can still decide halfway through I don't want to do this anymore and decide, okay, when people excuse it as it's just an excuse, or it's a fad, or when it's dismissive, I think that it comes off ignorant. You know what I mean? So if you're like you said, though, you admit my brain is here. My brain feels comfortable there. I'm not going to shove you out of your comfortability so you can understand where I'm coming. That's not why, you know, the conversation comes up. My understanding, like you're saying, it did, and simple stated, if you were to put it in the smallest box it could possibly fit in, it has to do with wanting a label, and it has to be wanting to be acknowledged for that label. I don't like labels. I don't want labels. I don't because to me, and when I was how I was raised, and in the time that I was raised, being labeled came with judgment. Always normally negative, you know. And it was like, you don't want to do that. You're going to get bullied, or you're going to get called this. So of course it came from a place of care, and it came from a place of love. Like, I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want you to do that. I do the same thing to my kids. Don't wear that, please. You turn your shirt around. I don't want you coming home feeling upset. Your friends made fun of you wearing your shirt off inside out. You know what I mean? Because it's an experience they've already gone through. So as a mom, I step in and be like, hey, I can remind them of that. They see me as a mom. I have a conversation with them. They see me as a mom. They'll be in their 40s, 50s until they see me as a human being. And it's sad. It breaks my heart because I'm 40 and I'm seeing my parents as human beings. And it's sad for me. I know it's going to be sad for them. But at the same time, I try to explain to them like you're right now. Like there are so many more difficult fucking things in life that you're gonna deal with. Like pinpointing this
Mm,
now isn't as big and extreme and as hard. But again, you've got a whole lot of teenagers watching a whole lot of 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds going through these things with the ease of sharing social media between these age ranges. Because back then there was adult TV. You go to bed. Like we don't share this with you. You know the
yeah,
adult things are separate. They're pulled away. You know, these aren't conversations that are had in mixed company. They don't
yeah.
have that. Those kind of boundaries aren't there anymore. You know,
And
and for a mom and a
it's like
teen and
my
have conversations because I don't want my kid to close up and not communicate with me and then have trauma because I don't want to just hear them talk. You know,
yes.
uh,
Sometimes you have to be discipline them. Like, hey there, Roger. The old pirates entered the stream, the boat. Yeah, that's fair enough, Paul. If he doesn't want
can I
to
at least say he
disclose
works in
his,
retail? Like G said as an example earlier, you know, give a little smile, thanks for all you're doing to our retail essential workers out there during the holiday
and
season.
also we do have the Discord as well. If people want to feel more comfortable disclosing more private stuff, it might be more of a safe space than YouTube.
Yeah, don't be me sharing a whole lot of crazy shit on live
I
YouTube.
mean, not everyone's like me who just says, the most
Whatever.
random and just everything and just, you know,
I
just
tell Brian all the time, we're never getting monetized. There's no way. No, not at all. I cuss way too much to be monetized. That's the other reason why I've been feeling really bad. Like I want to go up there, that I'm like, I feel like I need to censor myself more, and I'm like, oh crap! I'm just gonna have to take a breath and not say bad words. I'm gonna tell myself I'm at work, where those little kids can hear me, so I have to use censored bad words. Roger, you can't be that late. Oh, you're fine. You can't be that late, Roger. Not at all. We're just chit chatting about a bunch of different stuff. I love this untitled, unscripted stuff, and just getting up here and talk about different stuff and chit chat about all of it. So it's always great. First, we talked about AI stuff. No, wait. First, we're talking about food, as always. Hey, we didn't talk about the weather. How's the weather, guys? I'm very jealous of your nice, warm, almost too warm summer like, well, my summer like weather. Because I got your summer like weather and I don't want it. I know you guys just got rid of it. But also at the same time, I'm pretty sure you guys are still in the, what we like to call, you guys call autumn, but we like to call fall, where it's a bit rainy sometimes. Little break in the dry heat. I'm sure you guys get. And yes, I do forget that you guys are pretty much all on very high mountain areas that then go down to beach areas. It's hard for me to. I mean, I could see nature photos and probably go on like Google Earth or something and see everything for how it is, satellite wise. But it's always different, seeing on a computer and then watching or being physically there. I always equate to going to Paris, which I don't fly, so I probably never will, but going to Paris and standing under the Eiffel Tower because, of course, I don't like heights, so it's never going to be on one, but just to see the actual height of it. I know everybody says it's like overdone tourist, like it's not as yay as everybody says it is, but just to buy something so monumental, big. I guess that's why I like going to the ocean. Makes you feel small. Perspective. Nice to see you guys all in here. I'm not a mod on this, so I have no idea how many people are in here. But it's nice to see you guys all chatting. Oh yeah, huh? Oh, I can't tell on this side either because it's all just gray on this side to me. Again,
Just
it's.
letting the woof woofs out. The woof woofs.
Oh, I figured. I figured either they were needed a potty break or you did. I remember having to schedule. I was thinking about that earlier. How every time I would take the dogs out, I would make sure every time I went out to smoke a cigarette when I was a smoker, I'd make sure to take the pups out with me so they got to go out a whole lot more when I was a smoker. That's for sure. Now I just hide in this cold back room and smoke back here so I don't have to go outside. It's a little bit warmer in here. Ooh, let's check the watch, guys. We were talking about the weather. Ooh, 37. I don't believe it. Let's see what it says feels like. Gotta love that feel like part of the weather app, huh? See, we've been having these air stagnation advisories, and the reason why I think we're getting them, and I wonder if you guys get them as well. Yeah, right now our air quality is 85. Due to the forest fires and everything, and like the fact that we're having the cold weather, rooting systems and like underground rooting systems that are technically still on fire, rocks that are still heat and hot and holding in pressure, heat causing pressure from the forest fires and everything like that. With the cold, extreme weather can like cause the rock slides and stuff in the earth to crack and all that good stuff. We have quite a bit of sinkholes too around here, which is, I mean, we're in the mountains. I should expect it, but at the same time, it's strange because most of the sinkholes are not necessarily near water. So that's always strange to me when they're not near water. It's understandable that if there's water running under them, they would cause a sinkhole. But oh, I
Oh,
do
the
love.
old woof woofs.
I did watch. I did watch a few because I can watch them on my Hulu account. Um, has the cricket shows, the live ones, and I watched a few of those. And just like golf, as much as I feel like I'm not going to enjoy this, I'm probably going to take a nap. It's probably going to just the not necessarily the lull, but like how the soft commentary and how they talk like this, like like an audiobook, just kind of makes me feel like I'm gonna just fall asleep, like bat my eyes a few times, I'm pass out. But I actually really did enjoy it, learning learning a lot of the lingo, and I like that they put little notes on the screen, like y'all understand Americans like watching foreign sports, so you guys kind of put up little information cues here and there, giving us noobs information on what's going on. Oh, so my ticks have been really bad lately. Um,
Oh,
to the point
oh,
where, mm, to the point
mm.
where I haven't had audio ticks since I was a kid,
Is
and
that
I've been
like where you react to sounds?
no. So like normally my ticks are just my head, my neck, and my shoulders.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes it's my lower back. Sometimes it's my lower back, depending on like the severity. Like so, okay. The funniest way I can explain tics to someone who doesn't understand Tourette's is like how your body and your gut feels holding in a fart. Like the more that your like stomach, like you're just like, nope, 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 it's okay, I don't need to, I don't need to, I don't need to, and your stomach kind of starts feeling like it's getting into knots. My from like my gut area, but in my back, all the way upwards. The more and
Mm,
more I try to hold in ticks, the more it feels like someone is taking my spine and wringing it like a towel.
mm,
So it's almost like, those puppets, like the string puppets where you would play with them, and if you let go of the strings, the pieces of them just fall to pieces. Like that's what my spine feels like sometimes. Like if I don't release the tension and just let the ticks go, that my
yeah.
spine is gonna like what is that aggravation game where you're trying to put everything together, and if you don't do it, the timer just explodes. Like that's how my back feels like it's just gonna explode into a million pieces. Um, So I have a tendency to do that.
That's full on.
The is a tick. My rubbing my face is a tick. But these were not so bad, and now they're getting to the point where like I think I blew my eardrum out coughing the other day, like, and it got really bad. So, yeah, that's shitty.
Is there anything that like makes it come and go or like get worse?
When my kid starts ticking, so I'm not kidding, it's like hiccups. If I'm around someone else who has ticks, I will start ticking. And when
Yeah,
I talk
right.
about my ticks, it gets really bad to the point where,
Mm,
because I just get more and more uncomfortable. Like, okay, now you're staring. Now you see it. But I have audio ticks that I did not realize were audio ticks. Um,
mm,
when I will say a word multiple times, like I try to force out the air, and like I don't. It's almost like I don't hear myself say it, so I say it again. That's been
yeah,
happening
right.
a lot.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said, yeah, right. Yeah.
So it's been frustrating because I'm like, I already said that. Like, wow. Like, just,
Mm,
chronic pain. So, like, literally out of spoons. More than halfway through my day, I'm using tomorrow's spoons just to get home so that I can crash.
mm,
Um, and literally, crash means not have to do it. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't have to do it. Just literally saying no. Um, but a lot of it, the more eye contact I feel like I force, the more concentrating on people's faces definitely cause that. And that's hard to do like when I'm in a professional setting. So just
mm,
a lot of the reasons that I've been having like fighting with like disability and stuff like that is that I can't. Like there's like I'm gonna be helping someone in customer service and all of a sudden just start ticking and they're gonna think I have a stroke and 911's gonna show up or tell them no ma'am she has Tourette's. Thank you for calling. Did she hit her head? No, she's good. She's good.
mm.
Like not even show up because I can't do that. And then it just again it's makes other people feel uncomfortable. And that's just not me. I don't like making other people feel uncomfortable.
People shouldn't feel uncomfortable, but also it would be nice to, I mean, unless it's a physical disability that you can, even though it's not like a disability really, but
Oh, I
if it's
can't
not
drive.
something that people,
That's how bad it
if
is.
it's
Like
not something that, yeah,
I think the other day while I was
it's,
driving, I almost pulled the wheel off the road. Like I'm like, nope, pulled over. I was like, nope, can't even drive right now. So I haven't been. I've driven my car twice in 3 weeks, and it's
yeah,
simply because I've had to drive it, and it's like okay. And Brian's like, "Are you calm?" I'm like, "I'm calm. I got this.
mm,
I'm calm." He's like,
yeah,
"Are you sure?" I'm calm. Like the more
mm,
I start like stressing out about my text, and the more
yeah,
like trying to, like especially when I'm frustrated, I'm trying to do something. Like it's super hard to like pour a cup of coffee when you aren't staring at
yeah,
it and your head is
mm,
jerking, you know. So like when I just want to do something and get it done, and then just go back to like just sit down and relax, like that's different. But no, like I can do the whole back problems, yeah, whatever. My kid's screaming, crying, like needs me, like no,
mm,
whatever. Like I put it out of my head, but that's when my back and my shoulders and like my lower part of my body just starts aching really, really bad because I'm fighting the tics to like be focused and be like nope. And so that's been really rough on me the last few days. I think that's why my body's been so exhausted lately. Is because I've had to,
mm. But
persevere.
that's no problem,
I'm
man.
how are
We're
lately.
glad that you're here, and hopefully you had a good session with your martial arts.
It's got to be a. It's got to be a. It's got to be a. I left it all on the mat feeling. Knowing that it's going to be a bit till he comes back. I mean, you definitely want to restrain. You don't want to pull anything. Stretch too far or anything like that. But it's It's definitely got to be a like and plus it's like he said it's the last match of the year, so it's definitely got to be like if I have like a if there's like something you want to conquer before the year's over, type thing, that's always got to be
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And
It's
it's
crazy
a
that there's only a couple of weeks until this year's done.
I definitely I don't know. By June I'm dreading it. Like by June I'm like, oh. And then by now I'm like by October I'm like, I don't want the end of the year to be here because I don't like the end of the year, like the weather here. And even if we moved
Yeah,
to somewhere warmer, I probably would still be like, I don't like it's not I don't know. I don't know. I think I think the holidays are supposed to mean something and they probably don't. And then, like I don't know. I'm weird with expectations. Like, I don't know. We have a tendency to throw things together at the last minute and make do with what we have and just be
mm,
happy and be happy that we're healthy and that we're here to try again. Like, a lot of that, you know. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you're trying harder than you did 5 minutes ago to not do what you did 5 minutes ago, then you're doing better than you did 5 minutes ago. Like you got to give yourself because if you've only ever made it 5 minutes, and that again is coming from someone who has had to fight addiction, who has had to fight mental health. Like I shared a meme with Ryan the other day with like those women, man, that they have to do like get back to who they were alone. They're the crazy ones because they've literally fought with their own demons. Like they like they've taken them on, face to
mm,
face. Those are the type of people that are like they literally on their own. Like it was the hardest thing turning 35 years old and being like, holy fuck, I've hit that age where I don't really need people in my life. Like I need to be happy. I need to be healthy. And if you're in my life, yay. But I really, at that age was like crap. Like I don't need people in my life. I just need to know that I'm happy, healthy, and progress. Like you were saying about your videos. Like there's a reason to dwell on things, yes, that stick with you because there's a reason it sticks with you. And I'm the
mm,
kind of person that processes through venting and through communicating and I need validation because I don't always do the right social cue. Yes, I
yeah,
could have taken a different route. Yes, I could have walked away for the umpteenth time. And it was like, no. And, because there's a handful of other friends on the other side. They go, no, bitch. Like, you finally stood up for yourself. Yay. Thank you. Oh my God. I'm so happy to see that of you. But again, that is not, I don't, God, if I had to sit in a room full of people like me all day, exactly like me, 10 of me, no, I'd punch me in the face at least 3 times. Because I know 3 out of 10 times I'd say and or would do the wrong fucking thing. Because on a scale of 1 to 10, the worst are the top three. Tell me they're not. The best are the top three. The worst would be the top three. So my last three are the most calm, humane, namaste. I just happen to always be on a 5, 6, or a 7. Just leave me the fuck alone. Like I'm in the middle. I don't want to do the worst, and I also don't want to put in the namaste energy because it's still fucking energy. Like I don't
namaste. Now fuck off.
know. I'm telling you, half the time namaste does mean fuck off. It's just in a different language.
Oh man.
I'm telling you, and I've mentioned this on lives before. In the United States, you can go to different regions, and bless your heart means shut up, stupid. In every other region, it really does. Bless your heart, you don't know any different. Like, oh, like no, no, no. But at the same time,
Like in
that's
It's
like I
like
don't like to
Australia.
people.
The word cunt can be good or bad depending on how you use it.
Well, and then again, there you go. Label. Label is literally the word. The word you put to it. Now it's not even that.
Yeah,
It's and then
the
so if
intent
you took the
behind it.
woke thing from its simplest box and added a little top hat to it, it would be what's the tone, intention, and what are you trying to convey here?
Mm.
That's the second. That's that part of that component of you take your theory and try to prove it with your facts. So yeah, but that's the same Roger, the same word in America. It's the same thing. You get a whole room full of people that say that right back to you and cheers and buy you a beer, and then you have a whole room of people that would throw daggers at you, from the other side of the room for the same word. So I think it's, again, it comes into context. I can walk into a room and be like, "I love you, bitch," and everyone's like, "I love you too," and then I can walk in a room and be like, "I love you, bitch," and then punch you, and no, it's domestic violence. Like, it's still the
Yeah,
same word. It's just your intention walking in with it, your intention, and I
well,
think
that's why the English language is so confusing to like other
to anyone who
different
speaks real English,
speaking. Yeah, because people learn the words, but they don't learn that you can say the same words in a different sort of like you just explained in a different way. It's the same set of words, but if it has a certain emotion behind it, which
sorry, I'm
some
trying to
people
stay
that learn
warm.
English
That's why
find that hard,
I'm like
trying to
frozen.
stay warm. Yeah,
I
you're trying to stay
thought
warm,
it was
and
the
I'm
papa.
not too bad now, but having these ring lights on, it's not that hot today, but definitely a little bit warm.
I I feel like if you're intent, but I'm see, this is where I'm a fence rider. I'm just happy go lucky right up on top of that fence. Because if you're an asshole and you own it, let me buy you a beer. Explain to me why you're an asshole. No, anyone. If you want to be an asshole and you're proud to be an asshole, then be an asshole. Just don't be an asshole with like a cold, jaded, like asshole heart. Like, everyone has
Mm,
that exterior. Like, that's your way of protecting yourself from getting hurt. All power to you. Just don't like kick a dog while it's down type of asshole. You know what I mean? Like, don't take advantage. Don't murder
mm,
someone else just so someone else will see you. Like, don't be that asshole. That's me on the fence thing. Because again, I don't wake up. I don't wake up every morning wanting to be rude, but I wake up being me. And if you're gonna be, you don't know what's going on in my head. You don't know what's going on with my. I could have stubbed my toe and I walked around a corner and you say hello to me and I comment in my emotion of stubbing my toe and you're like, oh, dude, I just stubbed my toe.
yeah, you're
Because
saying,
then you
"Oh,
gotta,
fuck off," because you just hurt yourself. Fuck
yeah,
off! Oh, what did
yeah,
I do?
you
What
gotta
the hell did I
apologize
just
now
do?
because you're being a dick because I stubbed my toe and I didn't mean to say what I did. Like, none of it was
Mm,
intentional. And then, me and Ryan have talked about that. I'm like, now we as the adults have to take a breath and prove that our intent is genuine. And
mm,
again, though, if you're genuinely an asshole, please, for the love of God, be a genuine asshole. Like, don't, you know, I will respect you more for being the asshole that you are. I'll still say hello to you every day, even if you quit back. If that's our relationship, then that stays our relationship. And a lot of people go, "Why?" And I go, "If that's how you want to interact with me, that's how you choose to interact with me. I choose to interact with you back the way that I choose to interact with you." Now, if
yeah,
your asshole
exactly.
tendencies start piling up and you become more and more and add a little more every time, you won't get a "Hi, how are you?" I will I'll move on over here. And people are like, "You
Mm,
stop talking to me. Your level of asshole went up a little more than I was willing to deal with. So why would I give you my hello?" And a lot of people in this community
okay.
are realizing I don't give my eye contact. I don't even give away eye contact at this point. Like, when I'm having a day where I don't want to be here, when I walk up and I don't even talk to the cashier. Half the time I won't even stand there long enough for as soon as Brian gets in line to go to the store, I'm like, "Bye. You let me be by the door. I have an out." And I'll walk out of the store and I'll go sit in the car happily. My cell phone doesn't work, so it's not like I'm on my phone in my car. I'm just sitting in my car waiting to go.
Yeah,
Like, I tell people all the time, like, I get a negative energy and I don't. No, I'm good. I don't want to. I fight my daily battles from the inside out. You know, getting out of bed, getting
Yeah,
ready,
yeah.
doing all that stupid shit that I
And
would rather not do. You know,
and
um,
as you know, that I struggle with that shit sometimes. Just and you can't help. You can't help. You can't choose when it's going to happen or when
oh,
you're going to
it
just feel like
definitely.
that.
I have that. The other shoe's gonna drop. 3 days from now, I'm gonna hate you and everything about you. It doesn't matter, and I don't mean you.
Oh,
I
that's
mean
oh,
the
that's all right.
world.
Everyone does.
Like, no, shut up.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I wake up
join the
literally in
club.
3 days and I'll be
It's
like,
basically
fuck
a
the
club.
sun. I don't want to see the sun. I want it to be pitch black dark. I have sensory issues. Again, I'm extremely autistic, and when just anything, like I have a schedule, you say, hey, I'm going to meet you, and then 5 minutes before you say we're going to meet, you cancel. Understand the next time you make plans with me, I'm not going to get dressed. You can cancel on me 5 minutes before. I'm going to expect it. You did it the first time. And people go, why do you do that? I said, I follow patterns. I follow behaviors. That's how I
Yeah,
enter
yeah,
the world. If you show me a pattern and your pattern stays consistent, I will expect that from you, and I will give you just the same amount of energy back that you give me. And a lot of people are like, that's rude. I had a bad day. Well, if you decide you want to have a bad day every day at Wednesday at this time, you won't see me. I don't like your bad day. I didn't
yeah. See,
cause your
I
bad.
have, I have my own issues, but I try to keep my word. Like I'd only cancel if I was feeling really, really shitty or bad, and I feel like I let even if depending on the situation, even if it's not a situation that it really matters, I just feel like I'm letting people down. So I try to,
Oh,
go through with what
most
I'm
of the
saying.
I never wanted to go. I had the most fun I ever actually being
Mm,
there. Actually, no, they're I am that like fuck. I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. I am.
mm,
That's if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. I'm
yeah,
easily I'm easily talked into doing something else in the middle of the day when I should probably be doing what I should be doing. And you come up and you're like, hey, you want to go do this? Let's go. I'm very
yeah,
impulsive. And at the same time, what, everyone likes called lazy. I'm don't, especially if I'm on my way to go do it and you tell me to do it, I'll sit the fuck down and be like, why aren't you going to do that? Well, because I was on my way to do it. Now you told me I need to go do it. And I'm like, I don't need to do shit. And just sit down.
yeah. And I kind of hate when people say, "Yeah, just speak for me." Where sometimes even if it's oh, you won't do this, it makes me want to do it more, or you don't have to, or or do this when I was planning to do it anyway. It's like, yeah, I kind of for whatever reason have a bit of an issue with, don't tell me what to do basically or how to act. Otherwise I'll do the opposite just to fuck with you basically, I guess. Or just it's just how I am.
Oh,
It's
the first five thoughts I have when anyone asks me my opinion, the first five things that pop in my head, I have to throw them away. I have to not put
yeah,
any more extra thought into them because they are, like I said, extreme this way, extreme that way. They're not more or less, they're not realistic. They're like in a
yeah,
fantasy world with all the money and all the resources. Here you go.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
I'm a fixer. I'm a problem solver. Um, or it's from my own experience of MacGyvering something together, and here you go. You know,
mm,
that's a lot of people go, wow, that's what I was saying, like life hack. Like, um, I like to find quirky, weird, out of the box, holy fuck, but at the same time, like giving back, like community awareness and like environmentally safe, healthy, whatever, like the option, I'm wasteful. I'm not gonna say that I'm not. We have a lot of trash every month we have to take to the trash, to a landfill. I'm not
mm.
saying I'm not over here with a carbon footprint. Um, but I try to alleviate it as much as possible. I can't fix it, but I don't want to be
Yeah.
a,
Unfortunately,
a,
that's what humans are
a
like in this day and age, that we live in. It's not like,
yeah.
we just, I
I
mean,
try not.
the amount of little paints I've got here, like just hundreds is just a little bit ridiculous. And
Yeah, but imagine buying that in bulk and how much you would have wasted.
mm,
Because the amount of, like you said, those things are expensive. They're small. They're expensive because they take things to make, they're made of something that's not
certain
necessarily.
pigments and mediums and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. There's the process of just making those, and the reason why they stay so small is because just a little bit of air for a long period of time at a certain temperature, and that whole
yeah,
container's bust.
yeah. Some of these,
So,
a
yeah,
lot of people don't like this design because they say that some of the paint can get stuck here and then it gets the air inside it. Where people prefer, well, like these sort of ones, dropper bottles,
yeah, yeah,
because yeah, it's like with the lid and yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, exactly like you said, if it was being sold in bulk, you wouldn't want to spend $40 on just one color and it all of a sudden it all dries out. At least if
Yeah.
it's this size and it dries out, you can replace it and whatever. It's still annoying, but yeah, it makes sense that it's a little bit smaller
Oh
for
no,
different
Roger.
reasons.
Roger, it's 2.5 Celsius here. Just let you know. 2.5.
So you're almost getting into the minuses.
No, we won't get into. Well, I don't know. It was 28 Fahrenheit here last week, and it got down to the 20s. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
negative. Yeah, yeah, for you guys. I think it's
Mm.
crazy because a lot of people are like -9 in Fahrenheit, and I'm thinking to myself, "Holy fuck!" Because in my brain I do the calculation from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Like, holy fuck, that's like -20. No, that's Fahrenheit. Okay, no, it's already crazy -9, but -20. I was like, fuck, like, in my brain. I'm like, yeah, no, it's funny. I do a lot of. That's probably why I didn't do so well with um, media intermediate math, was because I would always go this extra step further. So I would always be like, oh wait, no, I went backwards. I gotta go do the opposite kind of thing.
Yeah, that was never something I was good at really. I mean, just basic stuff, yeah, fine. But when as I got older and it got harder, just I don't know, my brain's not built for that stuff. Like I guess I've done okay, but yeah, it just really stressed me out to figure it out or do it. Which
I
obviously, unfortunately, when we sort of like get a little bit stressed out or do stuff that makes us uncomfortable, you just don't really want to do it. Where I probably should have pushed myself and keep on studying it or trying to do it just to break that cycle. But yeah,
no,
I'd much
then
prefer to.
tell
I was
you,
the type of person that be drawing pictures in my maths books. I'm going to be
I
doing work
read,
and I'm drawing little doodles and stuff. So,
I read the first 10, 12 pages of Mice and Men, um, probably 300 times in 6 weeks, because we had 6 weeks to read the whole book.
yeah,
Um,
right.
I've watched the movie. I've had the book read to me. I read it when I was younger. I didn't find anything in it at the time of
Yeah.
reading it that I wasn't a man. I wasn't in prison. I wasn't. Well, my mom was mentally ill, but and in
Mm,
and out of prison, mental health prisons. But you know what I mean? Like the story of Mice and Men and what happened in Mice and Men, and like I understood like poetry back then. I understood like I read like Socrates shit. Like I was in philosophy classes and stuff like that in school.
yeah.
But I had to finally sit down and read this book. Everyone had to read it. Everyone was talking about it, and I just didn't want to do it because everyone else was doing it. And I was like, you told me I had to do it. Now I don't want to do it. I just can't do it. Um, so I had to sit down and finally read it like 3 days before it was due and finish my essay, whatever final draft that I
Mm,
didn't even do any of the other drafts for. And teacher tried to give me an F. Literally told me, it was like, I was going to give you an F because you didn't do any of this, but like this was the best paper in the whole class. Like you act like you didn't even read it. I was like, ma'am, I read it 3 days ago. She was like, you read it in 3 days and like did your paper? I was like, no, I read it in 3 hours 3 days ago. And she was all, what? The 300-page book, like 100 pages an hour. I took breaks. And she was all, what? Like, she Don't I used to read like textbooks at a weekend because I had to take them back to the library on Monday. I don't have a problem reading books, and I just never could get into it. And she was like, "Why?" And then I tried to explain to her why. Like, here are the differences in myself as a human being in my experiences, and here's a book you're trying to get me to read when I'm over here reading this and this and this. And like, she's like, "You're reading all of these books?" I was like, "Yeah, like intermittently read like maybe 50, 60 pages on each, like every other day, just so that, wait, oh, wait, oh, wait, oh, wait, get back to the book." And she was like, "So you like to read a lot?" Like, "Well, yeah, you added like 12 books to my reading that I hadn't already read." And she was like, "I gave you guys like 40 books for the year to pick through." And I was like, "Well, only 12 of them I haven't read. And you told me I had to do something that I didn't read. And Mice and Men was one of them that I hadn't, haven't read since I was a kid." And she was like, "As a kid," I was like, "I have older sisters. They did the same schoolwork you're giving me now. What do you want me to say? It was there. It was in the house." And we just had this whole in-depth conversation about it. She was like, "I really wanted to give you an F." She's like, "But it was the best one, so I had to give you a C." I was like, "That's fine." She's like, "But I have to tell the whole class the best club paper in the whole class got a C." And I was like, "So? Like, take my paper out of the curve then, and so you don't have to, like, make it, put it that it was late or whatever, like, put it that I had missed assignments or whatever, just don't add it to the bell curve." And she was all, "You would literally like take a 0 for this assignment so that you wouldn't throw off the bell curve for the rest of your class?" I was like, "Yeah, they worked really hard on that bit." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I was like, they kept asking me questions about like, "Does this sound right for the book? Like, this good argument?" And I'd be like, "No, like it sounds one-sided." And she was like, "Those are the other like 5 other pages for the class that got good scores, like because they did have good arguments in their papers." I was like, "Well, they were in the library when I was trying to write mine, and hence why it took me so long to write my book. Like I was helping with them." And she's like, "No," and mind you, she was like, "You don't ever talk in class. You don't like to read out loud. You don't interact in class at all whatsoever." She was like, "You should take the creative writing thing and do all this other stuff." But yeah, she had to give me a bad grade, but I ended up with like a B in the class. Never had to read anything out loud. Never had to talk anything like that. But I only had like 5 teachers in school that actually made me like ever want to keep going to school, and it just always happened like right at the end of school, like a sub or a new teacher would come in and take over somebody else. And just that feeling like, okay, I've learned everything I need to learn. Okay, I'm done with this. I'm gonna move on to a new hobby, or I'm gonna move on to something that's like a little more challenging. Like, oh, this isn't as and that was school for me. Like, no, I didn't. School wasn't challenging. I would rather put my nose in a book than care what Sue, Sally, Bob, Joe next to me is crying about with their stupid teenage boyfriend. Like he's a boy, and like I would tell them, like me being the book nerd that I am, like I know I try to be sociable now. Like I try not to be such a nerd. We're not talking about how I'm a sci-fi nerd and everything else, but like they would say something and I would be like, biologically his body is going through this, so mentally his brain, like that was my response to listening to the girl next to me cry about her boyfriend not caring that her lipstick was different today than it was yesterday. Yeah, that was my response. So you could tell I didn't have a lot of girlfriends, girls as friends growing up. Yeah. It was weird going to gym class and like feeling like a teenage boy in gym class, going, "That's not what I look like." Like, is my body supposed to look like that? Like, yeah. So back to the whole gender not understanding. Like, yeah, no. Like I said, like I mentally didn't click with anyone my own age, and definitely did not ever feel on the same page as any other girl I went to school with my whole life. Because it's a small town, we literally went to school from like preschool to senior year together, even though there were like 400 kids in my class at one point. We all still went to school, literally sat between the same 2 people every graduation that we went to. That was pretty crazy. And they were both named David, so it's really weird. Because D-A-D. It was weird.
With me, it was like, well, a lot of times C, but sometimes yeah, like D's or whatever. But yeah, then when it came to stuff like art, I could basically just draw. Sometimes when I did art and someone told me, "Oh, did you do this homework or assignment?" I'm like, "Oh crap!" And pretty much sometimes in the class before, depending on the work, I just quickly just draw something and then get an A. Like, "Oh, this is fantastic! This was taking you a while." Yeah, about
Yep,
20 minutes,
yep.
half an hour in the class before. Not say it, but yeah.
I've always
Um,
been better with landscape and with
yeah.
perspective than I have been
Mm,
with movement and faces and like I can draw detail if it were portions of your face, but actual like so it's hard for me because I read micro expressions on people's faces and I know for a damn fact no one's
mm,
face is actually, you know, one in like 117 people's faces are actually symmetrical.
symmetrical, yeah.
Eyes, mouth, everything is just, you know, perfect teeth.
But then when they teach you how to draw faces, normally you have like the guidelines that are technically like symmetrical, but like you said,
Yep.
when
Yep. The
all the
exact teeth.
features
So
are off,
yeah,
and
trying
then
to mimic
how they
movement. Yeah.
technically teach you how to do it, yeah, it's that's like definitely a art or a skill in itself to learn how to do bodies and get it all right, the proportions. But yeah, everybody's kind of different, really. You know,
You
they
know, I
teach
just
you how
have
to do
to get better.
the skeleton and the movement, but again, someone's shoulder might be a little bit different, and just everything's a little bit off or different with people.
I got obsessed with calligraphy. So I got obsessed with like letters
Um,
and
it's beautiful and stuff, but I kind
no,
of do
I
cursive
can't.
when I
I don't
write.
have the I
But
don't have the
yeah,
fluidity. I don't you put a paintbrush in my hand and I will draw you a stick figure. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to like I feel that awkward about
yeah,
humans. Like no wonder I studied.
yeah.
Like I'm not kidding. My whole
Yeah, like
family
even
congratulated me for passing Spanish because I barely know English. Like they were like, "Wow, you learned a whole other language." Apparently,
yeah, I barely know
these
English
are the
either.
same family members that don't know that I learned different languages when I was younger, because you know they would call me weird for speaking in different languages. So yeah, I just taught my kids how to say Merry Christmas in Hawaiian. So I told them when someone says, you know, Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays to say Maliki Kliki, blah, blah. I can't even say it now, so I'm not going to because I feel like I'm on spot. But
Oh,
Mele Kaliki.
I hate that when you sometimes I do it in videos, but obviously if I really get tongue tied, I'll just edit that part out. But yeah, when
Not me.
you when you want to say a word, sometimes it's in your head, and when you go to say it, yeah, it just comes out all wrong.
I'm sure you get that with like the music you listen to. Like half of the time I'm singing a song and I'm like, nope, this word would have been better. It sounds better off the tongue. It's easier to sing.
Yeah, sometimes when I listen to definitely like rap, how it's
Yeah,
more poetry and just a use of words.
yeah,
When you sometimes people are unpredictable, but sometimes you know where the rhyming word's going to be or the punchline or whatever. And
right.
yeah, it lets you down. Like, oh, that was a
Well, I
bit
was spoiled
average.
with like I got to watch members of a Tribe Called Quest like do spoken word when I was a teenager, and I got to see like hear that I got to finally hear words and emotions being put together to
Yeah.
invoke the emotion it was supposed to.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like growing up in the traumatized household that I grew up with, you could smile and say, I fucking hate you and get away with it. And I
Mm.
just, you know, that, you know what I mean? That drenched in, you're not smiling at me. You don't like me. You don't care. You know, like you literally despise the fact that I'm breathing and you're smiling at the thought of me just dropping dead right now. Like those feelings, you know, tension in the air, you know,
Mm.
so masking, oh fuck me, it's so easy. Like I can hustle you out of your underwear, even if they're dirty. I can wash them for you, put them back on, and you will feel like it was your idea, like the whole time. Like, like not even kidding. Like you're gonna be like, this was a little uncomfortable. No, sir, no, sir. Like I'm that nice nurse that you're like, is she coming back in here? I feel like a human. I don't feel like,
Yeah,
a big old lump of in the
yeah,
way, and I don't feel like
mm,
I'm literally in the worst vulnerable place in my life right now at your
yeah,
mercy, and I don't want to feel that way. That's me. I'm here to help. Um. So, but no, as a kid, fuck no, I was here to tear shit up. I was here to just
yeah.
see how far I could get this fuck show to go,
Um,
and
yeah,
screaming down.
being a kid was crazy. Just getting up to the mischief. Just
Oh, see, my mischief
yeah,
was I'm gonna go hide somewhere where you can't find me because it's quiet here, and I'm gonna end up falling asleep, and you're gonna call the cops looking for me because you can't find me. Yeah, that was me. I was also like climb a tree and can't get down. Never had the fire department come get me. They threatened and I jumped 18 feet out of fucking tree.
oh,
I was like, you are not getting me on the fucking news. The news always shows up.
did you land like a cat? Like,
No, I'm pretty sure that I broke my ankle and walked on it
oh
for
damn.
5 weeks. Wouldn't admit it was broken. Because then they'd have to go take me to the doctor, and then the doctor would ask why. And then I would tell him I climbed a tree. Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to ride the wind. Not kidding you. That's exactly what I did. I climbed that stupid tree, went all the way to the fucking top, so that I could literally see if I could get the tree to sway. And then I got the tree swaying so hard and so much that I flicked off and fell about 4 feet in the tree. And that's when my foster
Mm,
dad came outside and realized that I was in the tree. Hid in the tree for like an
uh,
hour, thinking, yeah, right, they're not going to come get me. And then all of a sudden he screamed out, get your ass out of that tree right now and call the fire department. And I climbed down about 4 or 5 rungs of tree branches that were probably, mind you, I was 7 or 8, so I was very small. I was like 4'7". I was a very small kid until 12 and then shot up. But like maybe 4 or 5, 4 or 4, and I was like hopping between 6 foot branches, 6 feet, like hopping down them. Fell out of that tree. Never decided I never wanted to jump. From that point on, I was afraid of heights because the idea of having to go back down.
yeah,
And like that jump literally scared me. Like I thought, like I didn't like people say in the movies, and like people were like, no, my life flew before. I was fucking 8 years old. Like my life was half a second, not even half a second long. So it wasn't like, no, I literally was the whale and the bowl of petunias in the Hitchhiker's Guide falling out of the sky, realizing this was my life, this is who I am, and now I'm, yeah, that was me. So, was like, what the fuck am I doing with my life at 8 years old? So, midlife crisis at 8, kind
yeah,
of shoves you into, I didn't do anything crazy until I was a teenager. Then it was like, give me a skateboard, give me rollerblades, give me, a bike, and I've run around with all these teenage boys that are older than me and, call me their little sister and want me to belong. And turns out it was just like a bunch of hoodlum kids, smoking pot and getting drunk. And I had no idea until I was even older than that. And I was like, dude, you guys are like my brothers. I can't stop hanging out with you now. And some of them have recovered, some of them have passed because of their addictions, but those are experiences.
yeah,
The stupid
yeah.
shit that go sit and say they taught me,
See, some of my friends obviously are in the UK, some here, and just yeah, I had heard, like you said, some pass away and for various reasons, and this, that, and the other. And I mean, I guess it's just what life is like, though. But in those moments of having fun, definitely is awesome. Awesome memories to look back on.
Some of the craziest
Running
memories were
amok.
like rolling down dirt hills, like running, seeing who could stand the longest, and like trying to get to the end. And then I watch TV and see all this crazy shit y'all do in the UK and other parts of England where you chase wheels of cheese down hills. And I was like telling Ryan, I
Yeah,
can do that. I can
I was
totally
the
do that.
place.
I totally know
The places I was from were pretty crazy, but I'm not that crazy. chasing a cheese and
Dude, and
man.
being like extremely proud of holding on to that cheese for the year.
Oh, I
Like
wish
I
I
said,
was from
it's
there
those
because I would
simple
have run
joys in
after.
life that I wish
I
we had
love
more of,
cheese. I would have been the first down there.
right?
Take a bite out of the cheese. You're
Like I
coming
said,
home with me, cheese.
the simple joys of tradition, and it is. It's a simple. It's a simple. It's literally chasing like who I've chased. I've chased after a bag in the wind, and will. It's on camera, so it's going to be
Yeah.
infamous in my family.
I
And
mean, it
with
could have
my
even
one,
came from. It could have even came from someone mistakenly did it, and everyone
no, no, no.
chased it, and then it's like, oh, this is.
Flew out of my hand. That's how hard the wind was blowing, and I
Oh yeah,
full chased this bag like 100 yards, so like American football field, to
yeah,
catch this damn thing in circles like this. Yeah. And my dad had it on camera and he's laughing the whole time. And when I walk back up to him, barely out of breath, and he goes, "You look stupid." And I said, I don't litter. And then walked off camera. Like that was my I don't litter. And just put it in a trash bag. He was like, "For a plastic bag." I was like, "Yeah, a plastic bag. I don't litter." Like, I don't know what to tell you. He's like, You could have just waited for it to stop. I said, "It could have been on the other side of town. I would have had to drive over there and get it." How would you have done
yeah.
it yours? My receipt is in there with my fucking name on it. I don't litter. They would know it was me littering. It has my fucking name on it. He goes,
Oh man.
oh, you, I don't litter. It literally has my name on it. Of course, I don't litter on purpose, but I'm not going to pull over on the side of the road going 70 when my kid opens the window and a paper flies out. I'm sorry, paper. I hope you had a fulfilling life. I hope it was
Yeah.
a good flight to your doom. I don't know what to tell you, but or a piece of plastic. I apologize. I'm sorry, Mother Earth. Please forgive me for my kid rolling down a window at 75 on a freeway. I don't know what to tell you. That's pretty fast for you guys. I'm like, I'm like miles per hour wise. I'm pretty sure that's because when you guys say you're going 40, for us
Yeah.
that's like 65 or something like that. 60 or 65. Like it's 2.2 something, right? Or 1.89, 1.9 something. There's like 5 conversions I have to remember for you guys. And again, I'm sorry, it's for us because we're the only ones that still do this. I remember.
And well, like you were saying about daylight savings, it's still crazy to me because I guess I've just now I speak to so many different people online. You know, that it's all these different times, a few hours behind, or half an hour behind, or someone half hour ahead. It's just why can't it just all be one time? Make it easier.
Well, and then to find out like what the official reason for daylight saving time was like, okay, that makes sense. It does help workers. It
Hmm.
gives them a no. This is the cutoff time. Was basically what it was. It was set around harvesting and industrial and all that good stuff, and we're just not there anymore. Like half of the United States is like Japan. We're up right now with you guys. We're doing commerce
Hmm.
out of the country, so damn near half of the United States is awake now doing some type of commerce or some type of communication with people outside of the United States, um, in some capacity. You know, um, if it's telemarketers all the way to corporate offices, they're doing business now. Um, to me, it's just I don't know. If we went by a 24-hour clock, it would be so much easier for fucking everybody. But we would all have to start at 0, and that would make no sense for half the people in the world that are like now is not 1 o'clock in the morning, or sorry, 3:54 in the morning. You know, you're like, I'm in the middle. It's the sun is out. Why would I say it's 3:54 in the morning? You guys, your guys' your commerce would have to change. Our commerce would have to change. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, it would have to be unanimous, and they'll never be unanimous. Come on now.
Yeah, like it definitely makes sense. But I mean, when I speak to people online, so many people get confused of how far ahead Australia is as well. Normally 9 hours ahead or whatever. Some people, if they speak to me online, they'll be saying good morning when I'm going to bed, or they'll ask the time, and I'll be like, yeah, 2 in the morning or whatever. Oh, why aren't you sleeping? Or they're just it's all, it's all a little bit. But I'm used to it as well because I moved here from the UK. I've sort of got used
Bit of a
to
time change, yeah.
the time difference. And when we first moved here, we would call family, and sometimes I used to call friends because it was a little bit obviously hard to get used to being here. And just you'd have to call them, and it'd be their morning and our nighttime or whatever.
Oh yeah, I every morning when I look on Facebook, I see my uncle's sunset video or photos from tomorrow.
Yeah,
Like, wait, uncle, that's tomorrow. Like, you're a whole day. You're 14 hours behind me, so it's 2 in the morning. It's 2 in the 3 o'clock in the afternoon for him. So I'm
mm,
like, wait, you're tomorrow, no, you're tomorrow. They're yesterday. Yeah, they're
mm. Us,
they're 11 hours. So when it's daylight savings, they're 12 hours or they're 14 hours, and then the other time they're 13
yeah,
hours. If it's nighttime for me, I know it's the afternoon for my auntie. You know, so
yeah,
I always giggle because like I follow. I know we don't. I don't like talking about religion, but I follow um, I follow the church that was started by friends of my parents when we lived in Hawaii when I was a kid.
yeah,
Because I noticed some of the kids that are my age are in the live feed and stuff like that. I recognize them from when we were kids. Don't remember their
mm,
names. Just remember playing with them when we were kids at church and stuff like that, and running around. And we do community feeds and stuff like that, and feed the homeless and stuff like that. And go take care of the elderly and stuff. And so the kids would all, we'd have our kid chores helping the adults. So I just remember doing that kind of stuff with them. But I remember their faces. So just seeing them on that kind of stuff just gives me a little nostalgia and
yeah,
part
yeah,
part of my heritage. And I listen to a lot of what they say about when they do their prayers, for Hawaii and stuff like that. To me, it's a cultural thing, not just a spiritual thing.
yeah,
So I'll watch their lives and stuff like that, but their Sunday service is like midnight. Like I'm like, I gotta watch it the next day, kind of thing. 'Cause I can't watch it live. Or when I do catch them live, it's an early morning service and it's like 7 o'clock at night here. So stuff like that. But I don't know. It'd be like watching a coronation or going to like my friend's Catholicism thing for their kid or something. Like
mm,
just because I don't follow your religion doesn't mean that I can't respect it. Show support kind of thing. I don't know. I went to Catholicism with my friend every morning because I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to be at home. So I would just go to Catholicism with him in the morning so I could be there for an hour and a half instead of being at home. Like, yeah, I'll just go with you. And then one day I asked a question, and apparently I wasn't supposed to ask a question because I'm not in the
oh,
class.
no.
I'm allowed to learn, but I'm allowed to talk. And
Oh, so you
I
just have
didn't
to sit there like a statue and just be a,
well, because I'm
mm,
just there to learn. Like that's you're allowed
yeah,
to be learn. You're just not allowed to like. But I didn't ask a question about what they were doing. Like I didn't ask
yeah,
a question like that. Like I asked the question, "Are we gonna do this next?" And because I questioned
okay.
anything, they were like, the next time I showed up, he's like, "You can't come in." I was like, oh, I didn't even ask. He
What?
goes, "No, I know," but it was like you literally asked a question while you were in there. Like that was the one thing, and I went, I didn't know they meant like I couldn't ask to go to the bathroom. And he's like, He's like, you could ask go to the bathroom. I'm like, but that's a question. And he was like, I was like, see, it's not every question. So how am I supposed to know that if I asked any question? He was like, dude, you can't blame me. And then like the guy even came to me and was like, I'm sorry. I know the rule. Like he explained it to me. Yes, you could have asked questions, but because the other kids that are younger than you heard you ask a question, they looked at me and I had to do it. I said, no, I totally understand why you did what you did. I makes sense. Do not ask a question. I wasn't supposed to ask any questions. I'm only there to observe. He goes, yes, you're, and he goes, but you're very respectful, and I wish I could have you back. Like maybe if a while, like maybe if those kids move away, you could come back. He goes, because you do, like you're very attentive, and it's very nice to have. Because most of the people are there at 6 a.m. Like they're literally there because their parents make them go. They're like not there. They've heard this thing over and over for years. Like Catholicism takes a
Yeah,
while.
you're sitting here asking all these questions and like, oh, I want to, and they're like,
And
oh,
if you
just
don't
hurry up.
ask the right way, and like you can, because if you pronounce it wrong or you say it wrong, it's offensive. It means this and it means that. I'm like, I understand the Spanish language. Like, I understand speaking Spanish. But yeah, no. Like I said, like I was like, I get it. But that was just me being not me being inquisitive. Like this is cool. Like that's cool. I didn't know that. Like, I'm not gonna apply it to the rest of my life now, but that's cool. It's cool to understand that.
Yeah.
When I hear that now, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I like to be surprised, and sometimes it's hard to do that. Like I don't mean like jump scare surprise, like surprise, but like
Surprise.
genuinely, I do. I like to be surprised. Like people are like, some of them like, what's the weirdest thing you could do? And then people will be like, seriously, that's your question? I'm like, yeah. What's the weirdest thing you could do? And like, tell you the truth, it all came from SNL and the whole like that. It's just to get you to do like to see if you'll do that because my life is lived in TV, movies, and just it's how I relate to people. I'm sure you've watched it. Blah blah blah. My okay. This is me being normal. Okay, I'm gonna stand back here now, and I'm gonna be over here and just ignore me, like, kind of thing. But no, and then it turned into like, ask him your question, ask him. Oh my god, no, really, you want to know? It's so cool. So it just became a thing. Like, what's the weirdest thing you could do? And like, some people could do some really cool, weird fucking things.
So we was talking about time before, and it tripped me out just then because, as I said to you earlier, my parents was visiting my brother for Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
Got a text saying, we just landed in Perth. I'm like, oh, it's 10:30. I'm like, that's bloody late. But then for them, it would be maybe 8:30, I think, because they're 2 hours behind. So it tripped me out. I'm like, oh, that took them. But yeah, it's not quite as late there. So it's weird. It's like, at what point, coming from South Australia to Western Australia, did the time change? Like,
I wonder, does it change on the plane? Does it like? Will it automatically change? Is there
it's like some Twilight. It's like some Twilight Zone shit.
I'd be like staring at my phone to be like landlocked, like drop pin exactly where in the geographic, like the coordinates and all that stuff. That'd be, I don't know. I'm weird like that though. I like random facts and information.
Have you seen the movie Paul with the alien?
Yes.
Because they do the time zone thing. They're like they jump over one side because it's meant to be like where the two different states end or whatever. So they're like saying they're time traveling and jumping over one side to the other.
We've done well. We live 11 miles from the California-Oregon border. So me and the kids do that every once in a while. Yeah, we can get out and be all goofy, and especially when people are like, "We want to go to the border and take a picture," so we'll go in. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, Paul saying is 2.5 hours behind South Australia. So yeah, for a second there, it tripped me the hell out. Like even though we've been talking about it,
how far travel wise?
like plane wise, distance. I think it was 2.5 hour plane ride.
Okay, so if I took a 2.5 hour plane ride from where I'm at, my time zone would change 2 hours. Yeah.
Mm.
So basically, if I were to go north or south, it would stay the same because that's West Coast. But if I were to go east, it would change by 2 hours. And mind you, only shit. Probably from you to like Sydney is 1 hour difference from where I'm at.
Yeah.
So it's 1 hour difference from where we are to there, and then a little bit further than that, it's 2 hours. So like I could take a 2.5 hour flight and be 30 minutes behind. Like it didn't happen. Like 30 minutes has happened since I left my house or the plane left. Time wise where I left.
Well, I reckon it's 3 hours 20 minutes for the. I thought they said two and a
See,
half
and that's
hours, maybe.
now
Maybe.
you just went from California to Vegas, from
Yeah,
California
right.
to New York. So so that's just like to explain, like you're looking at a map from California to
Yeah.
Vegas, not very far. That's 2 hour difference. But I have to go I could go all the way from California to New York, and that's a 3 hour difference.
Mm.
So anywhere past, I don't remember where the line is. I want to say like Chicago that way. It's like 3 hours. Boston, 3 hours that way. So still though, that's 10, 12 states I have to travel through to get to that time zone. And again, that flight wise, that's like 10 hours. Because I have to interchange and go here and go up and go back and go left and go right. And, yeah. The direct flight would still 3.5 hour from here to New York. Direct flight is still like 9 hours, 10 hours. So I still have to fly way further to be a time frame. So that's the only reason I'm asking is because in my brain, if I took California and rolled it up,
Yeah.
it's the people size of Australia, but you guys are what, Texas and like the lower region area size wise, land mass wise.
Yeah, it's huge, but not very populated compared to the
Yeah.
US.
Well, I mean, if you took our, if you took up all of our outsides where you guys live, is the majority of the outside, of your continent, the outer side. If you took everyone from that, and sprinkled the amount of people you guys have in your center, outback, dry area, swamp area,
Yeah.
wet areas,
Well, who want
wetland,
who wants to live in the swamp and swamp
yeah, if you
swamp
took all that
creatures?
area and like shoved it into the middle of the United States and shoved everybody to the outside of the United States, we'd topple over one way or another. There's no way. Like there's the land mass in the middle that's considered
Mm.
high desert or
Yeah.
or like the wetlands or like like I'm where I'm at. It's not extreme cold, but
Mm.
even in the extreme cold areas of North America, even adding Canada and everything else, there are highly populated areas where there's horrible weather. So, you know, it's just land mass wise. It's just crazy because in my brain, like I'm thinking, you guys are like us. You go up and down mountains and you do everything like that. And I'm like, no. Like I watch some of those driving videos, and I'm like, when Mark does his driving videos, like that's a long ass straight road that's just on the top of a huge ass mountain. Like it's just a bluff of mountain range. Like it's just big rock just out there. Yeah,
Yeah, Adelaide Hills is a little bit like that. Just
yeah.
driving around. It's a pretty nice drive out there though. You just see so much nature and wildlife.
So
It's
that's what
always really
I've
good to get
always
out there.
liked about Adelaide. It's like it's more woodsy area, right? It's more
Yeah,
like like if you guys were to have an inland area that had water source and life
mm,
inland, it could survive inland. Like your guys'
yeah,
wetlands
because it's
are
like those animals are, eating and drinking something out there, you know. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're able to
There's something
survive
fresh
there, so
water.
they
No, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
That's what I mean. That's like with us. Like, there's man-made lakes up here, but there's also mountain crevice created lakes.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
the top of a mountain falls and cracks and causes water to gather, blah blah, and it trickles down and everything. So we have.
mm,
I've never seen the creek dry that we live next door to. So there's constant water coming from that, from the mountain range, and where it's at and everything. And again, our mountain range is high is where it's at, and it's like plateaued. Like here's our mountain range, and then a little bit of valley in between, and then a higher mountain range, and then valley and higher mountain range. As high as you go all the way up to Washington, it kind of just builds and builds and builds. Land mass wise, the land underneath the mountains gets higher. There's trees, mountains, trees, but land it gets higher. Our dramatic drop, like if we were to go from where we are to have to drop down, we have to drive a good amount of way to get to the beach. Most of what
yeah,
you guys do, somewhat similar, gradual where you're at, but other parts of
mm.
yours is like dead drop straight off the side of a mountain to go to the water area, right? And that's mainly shark infested areas, correct? Where it's not so swimmy ish, you know, right in the continent of Australia, you would
Yeah.
say, more or less.
I mean, that's why where I am is pretty crazy, depending on the direction you go. How it doesn't take that long to either get to the ocean or go to the hills. Probably
Well, because you
about
guys are like
almost a
delta, right? Like you guys are like a peninsula part of the continent sticking out in between other parts of said continent, sticking out like you guys
yeah.
are kind of
Like
like
it takes a while to get to. It takes a while to get to those places, a few hours. But yeah, again, when you go
if
out
you come
there,
you
it
get there faster. Like
less populated once you start getting out to those parts,
yeah, yeah.
like the
Well, because
peninsular areas.
again, you
So
have to worry about like hurricanes and stuff like that, right? Like you guys have those types of like large wave areas, tsunamis, things like that. Because even like
yeah,
I
well, we
showed you
don't.
guys snow 5 feet above sea level. I showed you snow, but like there was a tsunami there like 15 years ago. Like even though the weather's crazy, there's still like ocean weather that happens
Oh
that you can't.
yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah, no, that's not gonna affect us. Being like where we're at right now, you would think, oh, the bad ocean weather isn't gonna affect us where we are, but no, we get coastland fog, and we get, we have wildlife. We have salmon that swim up our river from the ocean. So, like there's as much as we are far enough away where like we're not going to see a whale up here, you know. There's not
mm,
going to be a whale all the way up in Hepagam, but there have been whales in the freshwater saltwater mix, you know,
mm,
embankments, and they've had to like get rescue people down there and get them out. Like you can look it up, humpback whales in Klamath River, and it'll pop up on YouTube. Like they had to, it was like a 3 day watch because it was a baby, and they were worried about the baby and with the mom. Like
yeah.
not the mom could get out, but the baby just didn't have enough energy. Um,
So if we
wasn't
go to like little river areas that again don't take that long to get there, there's some places that are known to have dolphins around there. So it's really cool to go and you see normally you don't see them that close, they don't come up that close, but you normally see like a dolphin and a couple of them following each other. It's awesome to see.
yeah, when we were down there
Just
with
to
my
watch
mom
them
and I
for
would
a
send you
while.
guys the videos, we were watching whale spouting water out in the ocean.
Yeah,
Like you couldn't see it because we were ocean level, but you could see the water spurting out, and it was definitely a
yeah,
small. It had to have been a baby because it definitely wasn't a big squirt.
yeah,
But no, like I love like finding Nemo and fishing and the reef and doing all the American studies that I can do and watching live feed videos and stuff like that and just how beautiful it is. Like as murky as water can get, from
yeah,
wildlife in water. It's still beautiful that you have literally water can kill you. It can hold you down. It's heavy. It's not something that's easy to move around in, and you can still find such beauty in ultimately what is just sex and literally like just reproduction. Like they only look pretty
Mm.
so that they can live longer. Like simple survival. And yeah, no, it's crazy to be able to knowing that you live that close, and knowing that if I lived that close, I probably would have gone there more as a child than I do as an adult. And like just as much as like I love the beach and went there all the time as a kid, but like as
Yeah.
an adult, it's like a mission, especially with kids, and like
Well,
giving
it's
them
like
those.
talking about all this stuff. You kind of we're saying all this stuff out loud, and you kind of sometimes don't realize how lucky you've got it. Like as I said, we're not in areas where we can't have access to a beach or hills and nature, and just the fact that we can go one way and see kangaroos and another way and see dolphins. It's pretty special, really.
Yeah,
I'd like to just have that vast difference of wildlife and just environment in such a small sort of area. So yeah, sometimes you don't realize how blessed you are, really, and yeah, should start enjoying it more because a lot of us, I know I do it as well. You keep to yourself, keep indoors, and you just there's a lot of beautiful stuff out there to go and look at and explore for sure.
yeah. Kids and I told the kids yesterday, because we had to go shopping. We had to go shopping and stuff, and we're walking around and stuff. And I told them, we're gonna have to go walking, and I need to start walking more often, and we need to start getting out. And the weather's not too crazy, the bugs aren't crazy, because that's the worst part of like the end of summer for us. It's
Yeah,
like the bugs, and it's just sensory
that's like
overload. Yeah, it
fly
makes going out.
central when it starts getting hot. That's why
Yeah,
the weather's getting hot because all of a sudden the flies are like, yeah, we're here, and then when
yeah, yeah.
been cooling down lately, so they go. It's like, where they gone? And then a heat comes. Oh, hey, just went on a holiday for a bit. I'm
Yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah.
They're just
But I told them,
they're
yeah, we
just
need to go
in your
start going
face.
for a walk. They like go into this little outlet in the river. When the river's higher, obviously it's full of water. But when it's lower, the gold miners go down there, and because it's a gold mining claim, they go down and they
Hmm.
start hand drudging and hand panning through the sift that's there. And so they pretty much dug out a nice little cavern hole type thing that some fish get frozen and trapped in sometimes, because it's that big. Like they're not gigantic fish; they're smaller fish. One will get a freeze or something; they'll get stuck in there, and they got enough warm water underneath for to be swimming around and stuff. But the top of it's cracked. Nice
Yeah.
thick ice, and we like taking walks and to the point where that little cove is, and the
Hmm.
inlet is where the water's at. It's about where we turn around, because after that it's going uphill on ice, and it's in the south side of the mountains, so it doesn't get a lot of sun. And I don't want to walk me and my kids up a hill where a car might come down and lose control. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we have a tendency to try to stay off the side of the road and everything, and obviously in the
Hmm.
daytime and stuff like that, and to be
Yeah.
safe and everything. And there's quite a bit of us, and the little one's got short legs, so she they take a little bit longer to run out of the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And of course, it's always like get to the side of the road, so you go to the one that's closest to you, and it's usually the wrong one, and the car's coming so close, like ah! So it's like, so we go to this part only, so the kids are like, Mom, when my friends come over and stay the night, or when my friends come over, can we go to the frozen lake? And I'm like, what? Like the frozen lake? And I'm like, okay, I didn't know this is what we called it, but apparently this inlet is called a frozen lake, and now I have to take a bunch of little kids. Why? Why do I get to take a bunch of little kids to this frozen lake? Because they want to poke it with sticks. And I'm like,
That's
thank God
brilliant.
we don't like railroad tracks. You fucking stand by me kids out there poking a dead body with sticks. And
I love that.
I'm glad
Like
we're
poke it with
I'm glad we're
sticks.
not I'm glad we're not stand by me in the freaking 60s,
Poke it
70s,
with
whatever it
sticks. That's
was,
brilliant.
poking dead bodies with sticks. Like, They're like, we want to go poke it with sticks. So funny.
Love it.
But yeah, you're talking about nature and like all the fun and all the great and the beauty, and my kids want to just go poke things with sticks. We do leave things better than we found them in the nature, but it's hard for my kids to realize that, especially since we live in a national forest in the United States, you're not allowed to fuck with anything. You're not allowed to
Mm.
stack wood. You're not allowed to, if it's in your way and like you need to move it, they want you to move it, but they want you to keep it near the tree it fell off of so that it feeds the tree. Like it's whole reproduction process. It's like it's showing you, whatever. So when we go to play, when we go and would go walk, and mind you, we go for this walk because I get to play Pokemon Go. Huge nerd, totally admitting that. Walk around, play Pokemon Go. So we go play Pokemon Go, and the reason we all go together is because my kids use my hotspot so they can use their Wi-Fi phones that don't actually work. They're just toys for them. So they can play Pokemon Go with me because they help me trade, and I help them trade and help them whatever. But I'm trying to get up to a certain level so I can make a stupid stop in my front yard so I don't have to walk that far for my kids to go get Pokeballs, because that's half the reason why we walk.
I did play that for a bit. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I haven't.
So it's
up to
great.
date with
We're
it.
getting out, we're doing exercise, we're having fun. My
Yeah.
when they get bored, they get to ride around in circles in their scooter, because where we're walking has nice paved road. Mostly, no, we're on a trail. Walk when we do walk, the side of the road and everything. But where we stop, the Poke Stops are, it's it has to be a safe environment where kids can run around, people can run around playing and everything. So we have plenty of space and everything. The kids like doing that, oh yeah, let's go play Pokemon. We'll get our scooters, and so they're all excited because of course I want to sit there and play for hours, and they're like, Mom, we're done. We're out of Pokeballs. Like I'm like, spin the stopping. Spin that thing every 5 minutes. Let's go. Like my kids are like, okay, we're done. I don't play anymore. They're like, my mom plays Pokemon Go. Sorry. Like to their friends. I'm like, shut up. Pokemon Go is cool. Shut up. But again, I have to argue with them that I played and beat all the Pokemon games on Game Boy back when I was a kid. Like Pokemon's been around for weeks.
Love the Game Boy games.
Like, they had. I got my kids started. My first card game like that, collector game like that for my kids was Yu-Gi-Oh. I got them stuck on Yu-Gi-Oh because I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh on Game Boy. That's I already beaten all the Pokemon when I was a kid, so got stuck on Yu-Gi-Oh and started playing Yu-Gi-Oh on Super Nintendo and on all that stuff. So they got stuck, figuring out how to play. You read the card, it'll tell you what you can and cannot do, and then I know the rule book. My mom had. I already read that shit like 9 billion times playing with my siblings. Because I'm sorry, if you hand me a game and you tell me we're playing by the rules, then I'm going to read the rules. And if you try to go against the rules, I'm going to call you on that shit. So I like playing, these are the rules. Like, we have 5 rules. Those are the only rules. Anything else goes. Like,
so I think the real question that everyone wants to know is what's your favorite starter from the Game Boy games? The original ones.
The what?
Starter Pokemon.
Oh, I always go with Charmander, but that's because Charmander's easier. It's easier to up him. But if I had to pick my favorite of all, like there's so many crazy new ones out that one of them looks.
I haven't even kept up to date with it all.
It'd be the Wooloo. Apparently, it's like a sheep and it has like braids coming out. Like it looks like a total like farm hippie looking sheep, and it's super funny, and I was laughing, and like I was like, if I had to be a Pokemon, that would be me. But no, of course, like Squirtle. What else? What else is the one that I would go for? What was it? The one that I was stuck on the other day?
Bulbasaur or
No. Bulbasaur, I can't. Okay, so on the new Pokemon Go with the Bulbasaur, you have to do raids, and we don't have a lot of those around here.
Yeah.
Like I get tired of having to drive to the 3 gyms we have in town to feed the same 3 that have been stuck there for weeks because no one can beat them.
Yeah.
I go a little all out, super hyper focused on it, and then I've only been playing since the middle of 2021. I think I downloaded and I started like actually playing the beginning of 2022, and I'm on
Yeah,
like level
right.
30. Like my kids are like, "You're on what? I've been playing this game for like 2 years, and I'm on level 18." And I'm like, "I'm on 34." Like you do all
Yeah,
those
I'm
side
about.
challenges.
I reckon I'm about 18, 19 last time I played
Yeah.
it. I haven't played it for a year or two though, but
Well, for a while there, they were like, "Oh, 22, and you can do level 22, and you could do this, and you could do that, and you could do this, and you could do that." And then everybody realized what I realized, that if you do every time they put out one of those events, when it's like 3 times or 5 times, like that's when I do most of what I do, because those events, like I go up 3 levels in like 3 days by playing those
yeah,
events. And half the time, and before they were expensive, so I can understand like no one would want to do the events. Now they're $1, like now they're 99 cents. So I'm like, I'll do this one. I'm gonna be out of town for the next 2 or 3 days, and I can do this one during that time. And there's a freaking gym every 2 blocks, in big cities. So it was a lot easier when we were going down south more in 2022, when we were going down there more often, and I could play in bigger cities. Like even my kids were like, "Mom, are you playing? We're out of town." I'm like, "Crap, I forgot." Didn't even play. Like I had so much crap going on yesterday. It's weird. Holy
I
crap!
might
It's
head
already.
off in about five. Might head off in about 5 minutes or something.
I was gonna say, holy crap, we've been going. I like these talks though. I like having the random. I feel. I feel.
Too much structure, I find it. Like you don't feel as free. We can just go from topic to topic and
Well,
whatever.
I'm not gonna say I'm an easy person to interview. When I know my parameters, I'm great at doing interview types like conversations like this, because I
Yeah,
can ignore the fact that we're on live YouTube and
yeah,
people could possibly be watching or not watching or
mm,
restreaming or not you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I I'm not aware of that because I'm invested in the conversation. And that's the
I'm
those are
kind of
those
happy. There's
are
been obviously there's been the regulars, but the views have been going up and down all night.
yeah.
But we've had some okay numbers at
I feel
some
bad.
points.
I'm half to blame. When I get busy,
No, no.
like I said, I have a focus for like 2 or 3 days, and I'm like, I haven't watched any of the videos this week.
No,
So I
no,
always
that's fine. Yeah, it's just that people are going to start coming here more often if the streams are here. But yeah, there's been a few people who are
well,
just
no, what I
poking
mean is
around.
like I probably add like probably 10 or 12 of your views, because I will watch the video and I will walk away, and then I will get busy doing something, and then I'll come back and go, crap, I have to watch it again because I missed the whole other
Yeah,
half of it. So I'll just start it from the beginning. Yeah, I do that quite a bit. My headphones have been dead lately. Like every time I go to use them, I'm like, crap, I didn't charge them, and then I'll forget that I left them at home charging, and then I don't have them for a few days. But when I have my headphones in, it's always easier, walk around at work and just listen to you guys chat. Lately, it's been, lately it's been whether or not I can just stay awake. Because, like I said, lately I've been more physically. We got a big old pile of wood and everything, so trying to help Ryan bring in the wood and stack the wood, and trying to
mm,
get the rest of our organizing, moving, winterizing the house and stuff, moving stuff around and stuff. My body has just been like, okay, go to work. Okay, do this. Okay, do that. Okay, do this. Like, you got the energy. Let's do it. And then, with chronic pain, 2 or 3 days later, I'm like, why did I do all of that? Like,
yeah. Just
like,
putting stuff.
hey, I did
Sometimes
it, but
putting
why?
build like I built stuff and just at the time you don't feel it, but afterwards your body is obviously just certain stretches and movements. It just upsets the
Yeah,
body. It
trying to sit right
complicates
now,
it.
like frog style with my feet together, like my knees out right now, just sit comfortable. I'm like, that's how I sit in the car, and my legs were like, fuck you, do not, because we sat in the car all day today, and like then I got up and came home, and then sat here for a minute, and then got up and went to work and did a whole lot of crouching over and squatting and stuff. So My
Yeah,
body's
even
like, what
sitting
the
like
fuck?
this, it doesn't feel too bad. But then when I get up, I'm like, yeah, okay, I can
Like
feel it
all of a
now.
sudden, like I used to call them like reverse Charlie horses when I was a kid, because you know, like when somebody would like
Mm,
get you in the leg, or like you bump your leg or something, or like your whole thigh or your whole leg's like ow 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 like that, but like it's opposite, so it's like the bottom of my leg,
yeah,
like
right. Yeah.
holy shit, like because you were putting that pressure from sitting down, and then you go to stand up and you're like, oh, the pressure's not
Mm,
there anymore, and you're like, oh shit, like yeah. I try to do the whole rotate my ankles while I'm sitting, so it's supposed to like rotate your ankle and rotate your knee, and like it's supposed to like remind your body like blood flow, like pull
mm.
blood or whatever. So I try to do that to that muscle in the back so it doesn't do it. But I did it just a second ago, and it did it like the cramp went from all the way on the back side of my leg all the way up and around. It was like fuck off! Like you're not moving. You don't need to move. Oh, I am a bit nervous about finally getting. Like, I know I have arthritis. Like, you don't have to tell me. My body knows. Like, I know this is what arthritis feels like. Like, just that. Like, the other day though, when I fell off the porch, like my foot literally felt like cement. Like, did not was like did not register to left, right, left, right, left, right, and that worries me because right side means left side brain function, neurological function issues.
Yeah, yeah.
I have always had major damage to my left side. My left side is my dominant side, you know. So I don't know, like a car. Don't go poking around. You're just gonna find more problems with it than you started with, and you're gonna get
That is
frustrated.
it. And I stopped seeing the chiropractor because it was just he was going over the same stuff, and I was feeling okay for a bit. But yeah, it's just I don't know. Next year I might try try different ways, see different like there's physio as another option, and just
Yeah.
I had issues with my feet as well, get a lot of pain in them.
Have you thought about those
So
acupuncture sandal thingies
yeah,
they for you to wear?
oh yeah, yeah. Well, I walk around on eggshells a lot of the time, so walking around on will be alright.
I love that you
Yeah.
laugh. I really do, and I want to laugh with you so much, but I'm like, I can't. I hate that analogy for exactly the reason why you said it. Doing that.
Yeah, who
I
wants to waste eggs?
fucking did that for so long. Like, I swear it's like I'm allergic to eggs now because of walking on eggshells for as long as I did.
Yeah, that's it. Eh?
Like that's how I feel when you giggled right now. Like that's exactly like the gut wrenching. Like that's why I'm allergic. I can't even eat that. My body's literally like fuck you. Like if I don't even want anything to do with you.
Fuck
Mm.
these eggs. Oh, I might head off
The
now
shit
because
you came in because I don't even want to walk on them. Yep, that's
yeah,
exactly what.
this was kind of the
Mm.
start of the new streams on here, and I feel like yeah, we had a pretty good turnout, and it was great to have you here
You
with
ask,
me. I appreciate it.
ask whoever comes on in your minds just random questions like, hey, where does this
Yeah.
conversation go? Randomly.
Oh yeah, that's always amazing, and we did have a little bit of drama. I wouldn't even really call it drama, but yeah, I mean. Everyone's adults. Who am I to really stop people from arguing with each other? They're not arguing, they're not, it's not about me, it's just about them. But I just want, like when I care about all people, I just want, yeah, to try and chill that out. Try to, not everyone's gonna get along, but yeah, just
Again,
have
though,
to
your
have,
friends don't have to be my friends for me to respect you. I,
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
exactly.
you and understand and respect that that relationship
Mm,
doesn't exist.
just,
That relationship doesn't exist. It fell away as I would like to say
yeah,
nature, but not
yeah,
everyone feels that way. Not everyone sees that way. But with any change in my life, come struggle,
Yeah.
whether it's good or bad. No, I have to struggle through it. I have to struggle not to reach for my phone and contact that person. I have to reach for my phone, and
Mm,
this is from deep rooted know this person from a very long time to
mm,
met you yesterday. If I have a
mm.
connection with you and I foster that connection and you manipulate and or intimidate and or try to whatever, you're
Yeah,
poking a
that's
bit.
why I tried to do it. That's why I tried to sort it out in a way where I wasn't upsetting either person. It's just, like no one's in the wrong, really. People just aren't going to get along. Some people aren't just
Well,
going
it's
to get
hard to
along
be
for
like,
whatever reason.
don't care that people care.
Yeah,
Like it's hard
yeah. I
to
should
say
have
that
just
both ways, good or bad, whether you give a crap or you don't give a crap. It's hard to say
should have just
don't
then
care
told them to both
or
shut the
care.
fuck up and shut the fuck up and leave each other alone. Like for fuck's
Well, I mean,
sake.
like I said, just as just because just because someone doesn't want to come up on panel doesn't mean we don't want to get to know you. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
speaking for both, but I'm speaking from me in general. Just because you don't want to get on panel doesn't mean I don't want to get to know you. You're
yeah,
you're you're popping in to say hello and spend a minute and spend a time. You're taking time
yeah,
out of. You don't even know you're taking your time out to get to know me, but I'm here and that's what it is. But again, don't use what I say against me
yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I can give you context that'll literally make you go to sleep. Like you don't, I don't, I say what I say in the moment because that's how I felt, and that doesn't necessarily mean that's how I'm gonna feel tomorrow. But if I still feel that way
yeah,
tomorrow, the fuck alone, because I still feel that
yeah,
way. Like I made it clear yesterday, and having to
yeah.
remind people how I feel because they want to take it out of context, I'll do it. I got time for it. But do I want to? No, because we both look like dumbasses in the end. We both look like assholes that could have spent our time doing something better. You know, well, I could have been over here having a good time, having a good chat with my friend for 3.5 hours, or vented through private chat, and you still wouldn't read it. But it doesn't matter. Again, it's how we choose to support each other, and it's how we choose to vent, and it's how we choose to accept each other who and how we are as a whole. I don't want someone to
Yeah.
accept for the 3 hours and 36 minutes I've been on YouTube and that's it. Don't
Yeah, so
don't
it's nice.
don't
It's nice
don't
to it's nice to have a place where you can feel like you can say stuff and people aren't just going to think you're a dickhead and actually listen and then say stuff back. And we don't always necessarily agree with each other. Some people, like when I've spoke to you, you gave me advice that sometimes I need to hear, but sometimes you
Mhm.
need to say stuff that someone needs to hear, and you just do it in a constructive way where, mm,
Let me add to that though, because sometimes I need to say it so that I hold myself accountable to do it the next time as well. Because
yeah,
how am I a role model? How am I anyone to give anyone advice? How am I anyone to expect you to care about my opinion unless you're someone to
mm,
me?
yeah,
Like your opinion is your opinion. But literally people make money writing books, doing
yeah,
YouTube about their opinion. Everyone has one. Everyone shouldn't be allowed to voice it, but they do anyway. Oh. Say hi. He may or may not have been close. He's not. He's not close.
On that note, we might get out of here.
No, he just rolled over because I did a dick move. Normally, I'll leave a light on in the room when I'm not in there, so when he wakes up, he knows that I'm not in there. But no, I turned off
Yeah,
all the lights so that he would actually get some rest. He wouldn't get woke up by any lights. So when he rolled over and now to reach for me and went, "Where the fuck's my wife?"
yeah, tripping
Yeah.
out. Yeah. Oh, well,
Hey,
I'll get out of here, but I appreciate you, Mrs. Austin. I love chatting to you, and you're a great person. Everyone who's watching, appreciate all of you. We've had a lovely stream, and yeah, hope you enjoyed the stream, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, everyone.